We already ready, buddy.
Did the soundbite work? Did it work? I'm wondering if it worked. How's everybody? Happy Monday to you. Good to see you. I laid low for most of the weekend. We did end up going to Great Notion yesterday, and wifey and I had lunch and picked up some of our favorite brews. It's the holiday season right now, so everything is Halloween themed. So instead of their blueberry muffin, it's a boo-berry muffin. Instead of their jammy pants, it's the night of the jammies or night of the jammy pants or something like that. Definitely lots and lots of fun, creative things. Their labels are amazing too. What was it? Silence of the Jams is what it is. Get out of here, Gerg! Silence of the Jams, and the artwork is like, you know, what's his name, but not what's his name, all like strapped up with the mask on, you know, because like he wants to eat everybody. Anyways, good stuff. It was a great time. Wife and I love getting out. Although we got home last night and whoopsie, we forgot to plug in the Tesla. She had plenty of energy to get to work, but she wasn't sure if she was going to have enough to get home. So she stopped. There's a supercharger right at her exit where she takes for work. So she stopped and charged for like 10 minutes, and that's all she needed. So pretty good stuff. That's the one good thing. You know, everyone's like, oh, you got a Tesla, you got to plan ahead. Well, they're right. And you know, but the reality of it is supercharging is super fast too. 5-10 minutes worth of charge usually gets you a significant amount of miles. Now, if you're going from like Texas to LA, you're probably going to need more than a 10-minute supercharge, probably a couple of them. Anyways, I got messages barreling in. It's mostly Gerg with this stupid ninja smoke. Bro, you don't got a budget for the amount of smoke you've been throwing lately. Let's see here. Had a nice email from one of our viewers this morning, and I spent quite a lot of time responding back to it. You know, it's an old classic form of communication, but it's still a good one. You know, like one of the things that I didn't mention in the email, there was talk about, you know, the appreciation of my tolerance, my lack of raging out and lack of lashing out on people that do and say things and whatever, right? And the one thing I didn't mention in the email was, you know, that's a product of my grandma, you know, rest in peace, Grandma Helen. But, you know, she was the kindest, sweetest, like you could take this most scallywag, worst person ever and present them to her. And she'd be like, oh, they just need a good meal and some love, or, you know, whatever. She'd always have some sort of statement that was positive that would bring light to dark, you know, at times. And so, but anyways, one of the things that she used to do and she was synonymous for was writing letters. And, you know, when I was writing and typing that out, I couldn't help but like feel, you know, like, oh my gosh, I'm writing a letter like grandma. And you know, this particular viewer and I have shared plenty of emails over the time. But it had been a long time in between. And so, you know, writing again, it's just kind of like, it reminds me of my grandma, you know, which is a good thing. So, all right, let's talk about chat and today's stream. We got PowerWash Simulator. We're going to do the Shrek stuff. Did the soundbite work? Let's see here. Bobby says, oh God. Nobody says anything about the stream. So let's try it again. Do you guys hear this?
What are you doing in my swamp?
I tried to bust that out right as I came in. I actually watched Shrek this morning while I was making the thumbnail and typing the letter and talking to you guys, and fun stuff. Good movie. It's actually one of the first dates that my wife and I went on was to a drive-in. One of the earlier ones. Not one of the first ones, but one of the earlier ones. We used to have a drive-in not too far from here. It was pretty awesome. It's no longer functioning, but early notification squad today was Chacho, Brian D, and Matt. Thanks for being early, guys. Much love, much love. We got Raised out there early too. What up, Raised? We got Rob out there as well. Pup, Wrestling Bros Unite. We got Jason out there. Good to see you, Jason. Hopefully the day's treating you nice. We got Paige out there. What's up, Paige? Let's see here. Who else? Lots of talk between Raised and Bryant D. Stop spamming the chat. Just kidding. Talk away. Talk away. We got Ben out there. What's up, Ben? We got Lady Madonna out there. What up? What up? We got Double K. What's up, Kirstron? Good to see him. Justin is back. What is good? What is good? Oh, yeah, I got my green hoodie on today. It's the closest thing I had to, like, Shrek wear. You know, remember I told you the other day my friend brought my Vic hoodie back. I got my Vic hoodie back. Just in time to wear it for the Shrek stream. Noah's back. What up, dude? Grisama's out there, too. What up, Grisama? Tamara's back. What is good? Gray is out there. Pam, 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 pam. Did you end up finishing that level? We played a bunch of PowerWash Sim the other day. I'm curious who finished the level or if he waited for me. I'll probably be down to play some more after today. So, speaking of today, I'm not done with the list yet, but speaking of today, there are 5 new DLC maps that need to be cleaned. I don't know how big they are. I'm going to kind of lean on Chacho and what I see, because Chacho has played these. I want to get 2 streams out of it. If that means they're 2 3-hour streams, cool. If it means it's 1 4-hour stream and 1 2-hour stream, not as cool, but still cool. And if it ends up being 1 stream, Chacho, I'm gonna be mad. No, I'm just kidding. Just trying to get a couple of weeks out of this because you know, I don't want to do it all in one go. Is basically what I'm saying. So we'll see how it goes today. I might end up pulling the plug a little bit early. Oh, and we're actually really close to hitting a huge milestone over on HTG and on HTGtv. We're about to hit 100 million views total this week. In fact, 1 or 2 more days, and we're going to cross that threshold. That's crazy to me. 100 million views. 100 million views. That's a lot. Also, we are, as of this morning, the tracker has tracked up to October 16th. And that is a Wednesday, my dudes. We're at 3,947 hours. So we need 53 more hours of watch time in order to cross over and to get the ad rights back. The only downside to that is that normally we do streams, we get anywhere from, 50 to 100 hours of watch time per stream. Plus there's other people watching on top of that. So, we roughly see 55 to 75 on average hours a day. Thursdays, which would be the next day that it would track, the 17th, we don't stream. So I don't know that it'll kick in tomorrow. I think it'll probably kick in on Wednesday. Kind of funny. So good stuff. So Wednesday might be the day for both the monetization back in full and also 100 million views on HTG. That's pretty awesome. Pretty stoked about all of that. All right, continuing to go down the list, we got Bobby out there. What's up there, Bobbert? So we are all good for tomorrow. As far as I know, everybody's got the game. It's on their consoles. Gerg, start now so you can have it done by tomorrow. And we should be ready to go. I actually started watching the movie last night. We got about an hour in before the wife was like, I'm too tired. I can't stay awake. We watched the WNBA ladies game, which went into overtime. I've been seeing people trash it on Twitter. This is the best of the best. I can't believe I'm even watching this. Oh my God. You picked the one segment that had like 1 minute of crappy play out of count. I mean, they went into overtime. They were playing such good defense and hitting such amazing shots. Like, it was such a good game. They went into overtime. And first time in WNBA history, the final game has gone into overtime. Like, that's a big deal. And it wasn't because they were just bad and couldn't make it. It was good. Game 5, you know how exhausted those ladies are after playing a full season and then playing through all of the... How dare he? How dare he? And the worst part about it is, bro had a bunch of followers, and there was so many people piggybacking on, this is why I don't watch the WNBA. This is why this sport needs more men. Like, so sexist and terrible. Like, I can't believe people exist like that. Like, I cannot believe it. Their moms and grandmoms would be ashamed. There, I said it. Gerg's out there. What up, dude? What up, dude? Michael's out there, too. What up, Michael? Good to see you. Good to see you. Justin says, "Gots to get me some." Yeah, dude. I'll have to show you. I'll document the picture of the Silence of the Jams. It's pretty good, dude. Let's see here. Denise is out there. What up, Denise? All my ninja smoke is powered by all your bad dad jokes. Hey, hey. So you're saying you got an endless supply? That's what you're saying, man. If I would have known those two were connected, I would stop being funny. I'm gonna have to stop being funny, you guys. It's best for all of our lungs and our hearts too, because there's a little bit of a scare factor sometimes when that ninja smoke pops. But let's see here. Fanta and Beetlejuice. You know, it's funny you say Beetlejuice. One of the flavors that Great Notion has for their Halloween themed brews is Beetlejuice 2. And I asked for Beetlejuice 2. And the Schmohawk gave me the non-Halloween theme one, the Juice Jr. And I was like, no, I want the Beetlejuice one. So I didn't get the Beetlejuice cans. Pretty bummed about that. Not really. I didn't lose any sleep over it or anything. So, all right. What are you doing in Shrek Swamp? You want to hear it again? Here we go. Pulled that out for nostalgia. For those of you who don't know, that button was actually a daily routine a long time ago when we used to play Fortnite on the regular. Tyler P. and Occupied Dread and myself. And this was even before we met Tude. And I want to say maybe before we met and started playing with Gray even. Mike, Farmer Mike used to play with us a lot too. But there was a spot called the Swamps. And that used to be one of our favorite places. And so when we drop in the swamps, I'd always hit the "What are you doing in my swamp?" button. And yeah, pretty awesome. Let's see here. We need a ninja smoke sound effect. Just saying. No, you need one, bro. You need one. Wait a minute. Gray, I was wrong. 1 to 6 players? 6? 6? Wow. He asked me the other day, is it 1 or 2 or however many? I said, I think it's just 2, bro. It's Dolak. Isn't this the... No, that's the movie sound. Isn't Duloc the place? Duloc is but do... That's where the one where they have the little thing that... And it's like... Yeah. Okay. Okay. This is freaking huge. Huge. Let's see if we can find the little... Is this it right here? It is it! This is exactly what I was just talking about. Dip, 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 dip. Duloc is Duloc. Right? Oh. 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 Okay. Interact with the information stand lever. So that's actually what I'm doing right now. So that's exactly what I'm doing. So I was worried that I'd started off and that there might have been some sort of like so watch this, ready? Ha ha ha! Duloc is... Does it play? I was hoping it played, man. Ding, 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 ding. Sounds like me in the playground the other day when Gray and I were playing. I found this little spot down under, and I was just ringing things off. He was like, Jesus, what are you doing over there? Ring, ding, 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 ding. Something tells me this level's going to take a bit. We might get 3 streams out of this. Keep the heads ringing. Ring, ding, dong. Ring-a-ling, ding, ding, dong. Hey, you over there. You know, the other day, Straight Outta Compton was on TV again. I saw that movie when it came out a while back. You know, it's like the story of NWA, Dr. Dre, Eazy-E, and like, how they came up. Jerry from Ruthless Records, and really, we talked about this a little bit the other day about how really corrupt the music industry has been, and for so long. Like there's definitely some aspects of signing with a label that are positive, but there are way more side effects, we'll call them, as we have been finding out over the years. And like, musicians not having any rights to their own music, and like even like movies, like produced movies and stuff. Like Kevin Smith just got rights back to a couple of his movies after fighting for years, and so it's weird how the industry can do that. Now, again, I get it. At one time, there was some help coming through, and the movie industry or the music industry was helping get the word out, or marketing or whatever, maybe even producing copies of records or CDs or tapes, whatever era it was. But I mean, at what point should they have given more money? Like they've recouped their costs, right? It's just like an investor. An investor usually has like a caveat of like, hey, I'll be an angel investor, but I want my money first. So like the first $1 million you guys make has to go to me because I'm investing $1 million in your product, right? Beyond that, there should be a big drop off. Like there should be more money coming in because the money needs to be rewarded for being a part of it. But I mean, it's just like Google, right? Like I'm very happy and grateful for Google and YouTube ads and Google AdSense and all that. But Google literally runs their own ad program. So Google gets paid to provide ads. So if like Kraft Mac and Cheese wants to have some ads, or Reebok shoes or Nike wants to put some stuff on, they pay Google to play those ads, right? Then YouTube serves those ads as videos play. It's a process, right? It's definitely something that I couldn't do on my own, but they get a huge split of that. They get like 40% of the ad revenue. So they get 140% of every ad that gets played, because they get 100% of the monies that come in for the ads themselves, right? So the company's paying to have those ads served, right? Then they're getting a huge percent, almost half of the percent of being served. Like, that is crazy. What up, Loiner? It's I mean, for Google, it's great, right? But as a creator, you would hope that like, okay, once you hit 100 million views, maybe the tier shifts and maybe it becomes a 70-30 towards the creator. You know what I mean? Like at some point you'd think there'd be some like some balance, right? But no. Even American Idol, $1 million win isn't $1 million to the artist. They get a percentage of the win. Yeah. I mean, a lot of those things, like Lotto, right? Like you win $100 million. Really, you got to pay like so much in taxes. So you only win like $50 million because taxes takes about half, and hey, in a way it's free money. Like I feel like that may be a little different, but yeah, I agree though. It's, same with NBA contracts, NFL contracts. You got like, managers, you got your dues to play in the league. That's something that a lot of people don't know. Even like Hollywood stars, like most people don't know that like the Hollywood stars are 90% of the time are paid for and set up by the star themselves. So when you see like, oh, Robert De Niro's getting a star, and it's like all this huge big deal. Well, Robert De Niro decided he wanted a star, and most of the time that's how that works. Not always. Sometimes people pass away and things, right? But I mean, like, that was something I learned the hard way. Like, somebody was like, how come you don't have a star? I don't remember who it was. It was somebody famous, and they were like, bro, I'm not paying for that. Why do I want Why would I want to do that? I don't remember who it was. It was not Bryan Cranston, but it was somebody big and not long ago. It's like only 5-10 years ago. But you know, it's kind of an interesting thought, right? I don't like the footsteps of the night. Clunk, 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 clunk. I feel like a transformer or something. But it's more of a Decepticon feeling than it is an Autobot feeling. I don't know if that makes any sense to anybody, but it was Brian D. It's like, bro, I don't want my star there. I'm not paying for that crap. Brian's like, I'm old enough to remember a time before there were stars. That's pretty old. Hey, what up, Kevin G? This is wild. We don't really often see ground cover like this, right? Like, I mean, I think we have a little bit in like the sewers and the bathroom floors inside like enclosed areas. But like being out on the street. Cleaning in the street. Cleaning in the street. I think it's the fans that buy the star. That's not what I've read. That's not, and I've read it all. No, from what I've read and what I've heard, like I swear I saw like a documentary where a buddy was like talking about it. Maybe it was just an interview, but I've never heard anything about the fans, nor have I ever seen any kind of contribution or petition or link to anything about any of that. Not to say that I would, I'm just saying I haven't, right? It's not like they go, oh, an A-lister is getting a star. We better notify Brian, the Z-lister, right? Like I don't think I'm supposed to get a notification on that. But you'd think that, like, you know, people would want that, even, especially for people who have passed away and stuff. That may be the case for people who have passed. God, I'm trying to think of who it was. It was somebody big, like McConaughey or somebody big. And they were like, man, I ain't paying for that. And I was like, what? Maybe it was Kevin Smith even. I can't remember who it was. John Bunny! Brian, is this free? No. Shrek DLC, almost all DLC that has trophies. I should say all DLC that has trophies is paid for PowerWash. They do have a bunch of free DLC though. The Muckingham files, and there's definitely some free DLCs. But this one cost $8. Most of them cost $8, $7.99. Cleaning in the street. Can I get a ding? Oh, there's still a lot left. Never mind. Never mind. Just kidding. I wasn't serious. That's hilarious that I'm literally in Duloc. I haven't noticed the, remember when he first walks into Duloc, even before he gets to the stand, which would be on this other side, there is like the roped off area that he has to like zig, like Shrek's like, hey, and he wants to talk to Buddy, and Buddy has the Farquaad hat on, Lord Farquaad, and he like starts running off, and he's like, ah, and he runs the zigzag pattern of the ropes. I'm surprised they didn't include that. That's epic. I mean, it would have been like right, probably there. I don't know. Didn't Clint Eastwood refuse a star on the? Maybe, and maybe that was who it was. Maybe it was it. Like I'm saying, I don't remember who it is, but I remember it was somebody big that you would expect to have a star, and they were like, I ain't paying for that. And maybe I misunderstood it. Maybe like Brian D said, maybe it's they don't pay for the initial star to go down, but they have to pay for the upkeep or something. I don't. I don't. Again, I'm not 100% sure. I'm not gonna stand here and fight or argue and like this is not the hill that I'm dying on for sure. But I swear that was a thing. And I don't know. Google search might result that. It might give mixed results. I don't know. Now, why would you refuse a star? That was something too. Like, if you don't have to pay for it on any level, I'm just curious, just hypothetically speaking, if you didn't have to pay for it, and let's assume that you don't, okay? Let's assume that I'm wrong. Why would you not want a star? Right? This is cheeky. Clint hates Hollywood. Why does he keep making movies then? Go indie, bro. Go indie. Start making your own movies at home. I mean, maybe that's what like El Camino and stuff was. I don't know. I haven't followed Clint in a minute. I used to be a fairly big, you know, supporter just because he was Clint Eastwood, right? Like, I mean, why wouldn't you support the man? All right, I know there's a ladder. A wooden one. Oh, come on. It's not letting me jump off this thing. Ah. Such a slow turnaround. I guess I'm not able to get up there. How the crap am I supposed to get all that? Really? They want me to put extensions on it? Hey, I see some birds up there. Get out of here, birds. Is there scaffolding? Oh, it's a wooden scaffold. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah. I looked over and saw this and thought, that's weird. There's a wood, blah, blah, blah. But it's because everything's wood. It's because it's old times or whatever you want to call it. Good looking out. $75,000 sponsorship fee. So what you're saying is I'll never have one. Tell me I'll never have one without telling me I'll never have one. Yeah. See, I'm excited for this week. I've got a whole, I mean, this isn't new. It is new to me, but like the game itself isn't. But like this week, I got like a whole new lineup. We got Starship Troopers starting tomorrow, and Kirsten and Gerg and Baba are going to be playing with me. That's going to be fun. If you haven't seen Starship Troopers, it's on Netflix for another couple of days. I think it leaves on the 31st. I highly recommend watching it, especially Kirsten, Gerg. If you guys have not seen the movie, I don't know that I've ever asked you. It's not like Killer Clowns. Killer Clowns was terrible. I love it, but it's terrible, and I was willing to admit that. Starship Troopers is a pretty solid movie. Denise Richards is in it. She's so young. She's like 11 years old. Like I was watching it last night going, I don't even remember her being that young. You know what I mean? Like, pre-Charlie Sheen is what I'm getting at. Ha ha ha. It's a good movie. Would you like to know more? Do your part. There's going to be a lot of like stuff throughout the game that would benefit if everybody knew. And now maybe you guys have all seen it and it's all good. Loudspeaker still not done. Okay. It's got to be on the bottom. Alright. So I missed my stiff. And then, how long till the World Series? Like, do they have like a expected start date for that? Like, usually they do. Does anybody know when that starts? And I know that like the Mets were playing. I don't know if they've survived. I know the Yankees were playing. I don't know if they survived. I know that the Dodgers were playing. I'm pretty sure they made it. Yeah, Starship Troopers is one of those movies I hadn't seen in a long time, too, which is why I wanted to watch it again before we started. There is just, like, a brief smidge moment of, like, nudity. I don't know if that's a deterrent or an accelerant for you guys, but little bit of shower scene. Just some, you know, nothing gross or grotesque or sexual, just nakedness. And then it's all, I mean, there's a little bit of gore. But Doogie Howser's in it. Dougie Howser. Dodgers and Yankees, that's it? It's World Series. That's it. Okay. Okay, Mets are out. All right. I'm getting learned. I've not seen it. Yeah, I'm excited to play the game after, you know, rewatching. We'll finish it tonight, as there is no basketball on at all tonight. The NBA season starts tomorrow. My Blazers don't play till Wednesday, and they play the Golden State Warriors, who have historically been really good. So hopefully we don't get smashed in our first game. But the WNBA ended last night, so, you know, there's a day transition in between the one ending and the one starting, which is pretty interesting. It's great for me. As you guys know, I love the basketball. Squeaky shoes and all. You know, when you said that, Kirsten, like, I was like, what? I don't even hear that. You can't even hear that. And then, like, the next game I was watching, I was like, all right, I can hear it. It's like crowd noise to me. Like, it's not amplified enough that it bothers me at all. It's just like it's like a fan yelling in the crowd is all it is to me. But I get it, though. Like, I'm not hating. I'm just saying I get it. Like, but when you said that, I was like, what is she talking about? You can't even. And then I went and watched. I was like, oh, yeah. No, I never watched the sequels. Never watched the sequels. They were always like third-rate crap at. I'm sorry, I don't know that. I just assumed that. Nobody was ever big in it, and yeah, I don't know. Are they on Netflix too? If they are, I might give them a watch in the next day or two before they go away. But no, I knew there was one. But if there's more than one sequel, I'm not aware of it, I don't think. Kirsten's over there thumb shaming. Fat thumbs. Probably should have been the name I went with, Fat Thumbs Gaming. Not as good as the original, but aren't good. Yeah, I mean, I might look into them if they're available. I don't know if... Also, in case anyone's wondering, I had no party so far, but a lot could happen between 9 and 8. I love it, Ben. I'll never forget the one time like, a couple of years back where I was like, party at Ben's, and you were like, no. No party at my house. I was like, bro, I don't know where you live. Don't worry. I just remember there was like a half a second of panic. Like, wait a minute, Brian's telling everyone to go to my house. Don't come to my house. So well played, Ben. Well played. And all I'm saying is, if you ever do have a party, I hope I get an invite. That's all I'm saying. And a +1. Got to bring the wife. And if you want to see Reese, +2. Although he doesn't really like going anywhere with me anymore. Although if it's lunch and I'm paying, that's one thing that he will definitely. Yeah, we got another big milestone coming up this week. It's good and it's also not good. The new Call of Duty comes out this week. So, like, although there's, like, some excite for, you know, potential new stuff or whatever, there's also a tremendous amount of fear and all the negative language and trolling and screaming and yelling that there's going to be happening in the next couple of days. It's not my favorite part of the year, but I also know how much joy it brings him, too, right? Like, I you know, as much as I don't, you know, it's his SOCOM, right? Like, if a new SOCOM came out, I would be over the moon and back, you know. I'm thinking about doing, like, a SOCOM series. I don't know when I would do it, though. Like, the Saturdays and Sundays have the best rhyme scheme to it, or the best flow, wordplay, right? SOCOM Saturdays. That's my day off. SOCOM Sundays. That's a Lego day. So, you know, thought about maybe doing a series and, you know, editing some of my older stuff. You know, I've always wanted to do like a documentary. I've got lots of gameplay footage. The one thing I don't have is like tons of, like, camera phones were just sort of popping up and being a average thing when we were playing SOCOM. Think about that. That's wild to actually imagine. We had all sorts of barbecues and get-togethers and you know, but nobody was a photographer, so we didn't have anybody with, like, fancy Nikon or Canon cameras taking photos. And, you know, video cameras were big and bulky at the time, or they were really small and crummy. And so, like, nobody really had a camcorder. And so we didn't record any of our, like, get-togethers. So I don't have a lot. I have photos, like, of some of them. Not all of them. Some of them. But I don't have any, like, real footage, like, of us in the SOCOM room playing SOCOM or, you know, unfortunately, the camera stuff just wasn't really as abundant as it is now, which is a shame because I wish, I mean, we had so many good nights and, you know, I'd also have a lot of evidence that Reese could use against me. Like, see, you were toxic and negative and bad too at one point, you know, and he's not wrong. He actually tried to pull that on me last night. We were having a conversation about the release and everything. And he was like, don't tell me that you didn't stay up till 2 or 3 in the morning playing games. And I was like, yeah, I did all the time. But I also had a job and like that I lived on my own. And he was like, so what? Like, what does that have? And you know, he's probably not wrong in those aspects. Like those feats didn't really make or break the reasoning for me staying up. Right. So that's a tough one because, you know, I did do some of that stuff, although I wouldn't redo it, knowing what I know now and how my body reacts and all the probably issues I caused my family and friends and girlfriend, you know, during those times, just being grumpy and rah, 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 rah. I didn't get any sleep last night. Leave me alone. Rah, rah, rah. Choosing not to sleep, right? I definitely had my nights and my days. So I've yet to confirm the Game Pass situation for Call of Duty on Friday. I've been told that the Game Pass version is not the complete version, but I don't know what that means. Does that mean that I don't have multiplayer? Does that mean that I only have multiplayer? Does that mean that I have no story? Does it mean that I only have story? Do I have zombies? Do I have Warzone? Do I have any of it? I'm not even sure. I'd be willing to check it out. I always like multiplayer. It's fun for a little bit. I don't long-term it because it becomes, you know, spawn, die, spawn, run, die, spawn, run, die, spawn, run, die. It's kind of that's where I end up. That's not everybody. That's where I end up, though. But I've got pretty good reaction time and decent aim in those first-person shooters. So, we might see that. If it's available on Friday, I might even play it instead of Apex or Fortnite. I know Gray is available on Friday, and we had talked about playing Apex. Well, we talked about playing Apex, and then I brought up the Fortnite stuff has a bunch of Halloween theme, like spooky stuff, and we talked about that. We never really decided or agreed on anything, so it's possible we could do something like that, or we might find something even different. Call of Duty would be fine with me. Checking it out. New game, launch day. I don't know if Bobby's got it. I don't think Bobby's available on Fridays, though, either. Bobby, you still out there? What's your Friday look like? I'm pretty sure you're about to get Game Pass back, right? Ooh, I see you down there. Yeah, I just need to figure out. I'm pretty sure. Was it Reese? No, somebody told me that the Game Pass stuff wasn't complete. Because he bought the big Mega Moo, like $200 edition or whatever. It's crazy. I have like 25 pictures. Yeah. There's definitely like not a lot going on in between. Like, if you think about it, Justin, most of those photos were probably taken on those like $7 disposable cameras too, right? The little Kodak and or Fuji, I guess it was. Those things were abundant. That's how when we went on a field trip or you went to Disneyland or something, like most people had the little throwaway cameras, which if you think about it, like what a weird piece of technology. Cameras so cheap, you can just throw them away. You just take the film out first, right? I don't think they ever recycled those or did anything with any lenses or like. I wonder what you could do with that. Like, I wonder if you could rebuild or put more film in, start it over, reuse those. I wonder if you could have recycled those, or think of all the landfills with those things in them. Like, seriously. Like, I'm not trying to be like, I'm not going full Greta on you or nothing, but like, think about that. Your dad had the camera. Gotcha. Yeah, see, my dad had a camcorder, but it wasn't a very good one and didn't get used very often. In fact, one of the selling points when he bought it was it actually came with some like big time movies like Beverly Hills Cop or something on like the little tiny 8mm Super 8s or whatever they were, those little tapes. We had Beverly Hills Cop. What was the other one? There was another one we had too. It wasn't Mad Max. It was something like that though. I remember being like, look at my new camcorder. It's so cool. It can play Hollywood movies. like why would you... I don't know. It was a piece of technology that didn't stick around very long, or at least a portion of the technology. They didn't add the movies. They didn't get a full catalog or anything like that. I don't think, anyways. It was only available on Game Pass Ultimate, not Game Pass Standard. That might be it, which I definitely have Ultimate. There's definitely something going on there. Yeah, and that could be it. That you may have nailed it. I'm not too worried if that's the case. I know Tude was talking about playing it, but I don't know what his availability is. I know he said Fridays were really tough for him until November, but I also know that Harrison, his son's football team, may have played their last game in the last day or so. And after a full season of undefeatedness last year and going all season undefeated this year, they finally took an L. I don't know the details as I haven't talked to Tude yet, He was actually pissed, writing on Facebook saying that the refs unfairly called the game and stuff. I was like, come on, bro. It's like 7th grade football. Like, you're pissed off at refs for 7th grade football. And I mean, at the same time, like, he may have some valid points. There may have been some unfair stuff. I just thought it was funny. Like, he's going at the refs. And friggin' dude. So is it funny that I ran all the way across the parking lot to go grab this ladder, and there was a ladder right there? Kind of like I went and grabbed that scaffolding when there was... All right, we got to move this guy. Think that'll be gooder. Come on, get up there. Get those clunky night legs up there. Is Chacho out there, or did he bounce? I mean, anybody really that's played this. Is this the biggest level? Too short for bad attitude. Dude is short for Todd. It's really not short. Only Nam is. Which he didn't meet up with us yesterday, that schmohawk. He's like, I don't think I'm going to be able to meet up with you. And then he didn't show up. It's all right, though. I didn't have to buy him tacos. Yeah, we had a nice time going up there. We usually do. Like, it's usually pretty chill. Like, we don't know any of the people that work there, but, like, we've been there enough that they like, oh, hey, what's up? You know, like, they know us, but they don't know us, you know? Ah! No! No! This is almost as bad as Gerg's Ninja Smoke. So I wonder if I can... Oh, I'm a bad, bad man. I bet you probably needed to come up here to finish this level anyways. Just the angles on this stuff? Like, get out of here. Get out of here. Like, these cracks, these side walls, like these... Come on. The game is pretty forgiving, though. I guess if you got the rest of it, it might give it to you. That was something even Gray noticed. He's like, geez. After playing Lawnmower Sim and some of the other games, like, this game is extremely forgiving. Like, you think you have quite a bit left, and it's all, nope, you got it done. Good job. You're done. Come on. Can I get the ding already? Must be on the under... Oh, I bet you it's on this side. I bet you it's like the funny... Yep. Told you. Told yous. Not a bunch of 8mm. Nice, dude. That's dope. Ancient relics. That's totally misleading. It looks like there's something there. And this shutter's still good. Why is it... Okay, there we go. Alright, so I think I've got all of this. Feeling good about that. However... Oh, I wasn't expecting that to pop off, but... All right, 14%. Man, I don't think I'm getting this one done today, yo. Ooh. Nice one. I guarantee you I've got like a little strip under the scaffolding here. I don't know how it's not wobbling. You seen the movie 8mm? Isn't that with Nick Cage? Is it Nick Cage that's in it? With like it's like the murder mystery kind of thing where he follows all the. It's an older movie, yeah. I swear it's Nick Cage. I'm pretty sure I've seen it a long time ago. Yeah. Like from the 90s. Back from the 90s, son. Yeah, I remember that. Justin, what do you say? My sis and I are confused about it. First birthdays, Xmas felt like going to the dump. Man, I wish I had footage of when I was doing Christmas and stuff as a youngster. Technology just wasn't something. My dad was really into music. He had a crazy home theater, like, and then once like TVs became like a thing and big screen TVs, he always had a big screen TV and like a full on like entertainment system with like a subwoofer and surround sound and like all of that. He's always been really big into like music and auditory stuff. Video games and like things like that, not so much. I mean, he was a real big pinball player back in the day, but I mean, that was 70s, you know, like he hasn't played any pinball probably since at least the 80s, I would guess. Probably this backside over here, yep. Ring. That window good? Everything's good up there. All right. You know, I wonder if like with Shrek being DLC now, I wonder if they'll do like Puss in Boots or anything else like DreamWorks, you know. Trying to think of what, wasn't there another spinoff too besides Puss in Boots? Drawing a blank though if there is. Well, I wonder if membership donations are working. I didn't even think about that till right now. We should find out, shouldn't we? I think everybody, most people, I guess Loiner isn't rocking one, so we got at least one. All right, let's check it out here. Let me finish this little nook here. My eyes don't want to cooperate. Oh, no. Oops. Nothing. You saw nothing. Well, why is my audio all weird? That was weird. Making a weird sound. All right, I think I got it all. Minus this little corner of the sidewalk. Hring! I said, hring! Where is the rest? Where is the rest? And there's like nothing there. Oh, it's got to be this lip here. Bookashow. Do I know this game or do I know this game? All right, let's go here. Here. Don't forget to click that like button. 5-piece coming up. Big bucks, no whammies. Hey, look at that, it's working. Kodiak Snail Trail, Blazer. Nope, that's all you get. You only get 2. You spend 5, you get 2. That's how it works these days. Boy, I thought our economy was bad before. That's just so stupid. And they keep 50% of that. Or 40%, whatever it is. It doesn't even work, but they're keeping the money, though. They're keeping the money. Like, what the actual hell, man? Yeah, I don't get it, guys. I just don't get it. I should have checked the member count before. I mean, maybe it's possible that the names aren't showing up in the stream, but maybe it did gift to 3 other people. Right? I mean, I guess that's a possibility. Maybe for some reason it's not displaying. Now, I've gotten a majority of my donations refunded, which makes me believe that they didn't go through. But not all of them have. So, and I haven't tracked like each one. Like, you know, I'm not dollar for dollar looking to see and how they function or whatever. I probably should, though, because then I might be able to help them figure out why their system isn't working properly. Maybe it has something to do with like the ads not being full. I mean, I can't imagine that would be it, but has a large round table where every knight has a seat. Okay. I mean, the walls just go on and forever, it seems. Forever, Mr. Bean! And this is wild. Who lets their walls get this dirty? It's the one reason I don't love green. Is because although it has a wider spray, it does not get as much coverage. Like, it doesn't penetrate as deep. Like a drawing of an ogre, or what was that supposed to be? That's clearly a dragon. Is the triple red even available on this one? Oh, it is. Yeah, it is. I have not been using that one. Triple ready shreddy. I was playing with gray the other day, and I got so used to the concept of not having it. And the DLCs seem like maybe they do and don't allow you, depending on what you're using. I think it was the Muckingham files that didn't. See, and that one leaves a little bit of a line, too, if you go too fast. It's got very precise, but it shreds, though. No doubt about it. Triple ready shreddy. Oh my gosh, look at just peeling it. My GAN files were annoying, didn't have yeah. I mean, I get it. It sort of elongated the whole process. They didn't want you to go through all of those super fast, but we did anyways. So loud in my ear holes too. Let me know if I need to drop the sound down for you guys. It's just it sounds like we're in a jet engine. So I never did see. Gerg, are you still out there? Have you seen Starship Troopers? Kirsten, are you still out there? Have you seen Starship Troopers? I already know Bobby has. I already know that. I'm just hoping that all the players tomorrow that are playing are familiar with the storylines and who Rico J is, and, you know, I don't know if any of that will be relevant moving forward, but just the whole concept of knowing the universe and the characters and, you know, what you're up against. And do you want to know more? Tamara says she saw it. Nice, nice. It's kind of one of those classics that most people that are 35, 40 plus have probably seen it, right? It's just one of those action movies that most people, but not everybody. Well, but that's what I'm curious. I'm curious to see, you know. But I don't think either of them are out there. Right? Gerg? Are you there, dude? Gerg? Gerg? Kirsten? Double K? Are you there? I'm pretty sure they both got Netflix, too. So I think it's available if they haven't. Whether they will or not. Have you seen Starship Troopers? The movie. Really? You have Netflix, right? I mean, I don't want to, like, be your teacher or nothing, but you should make it homework. It's a good movie. A little bit of a love story, some action, some future. Doogie Howser's in it. Like, it was almost like right after Doogie Howser, too. He's so young in it as well. Denise Richards and him are both like babies. Probably 20, 23, something like that. Young. Pretty sure my dad watched. Yeah, well, I highly recommend it. It would be beneficial moving forward. Like tomorrow, not only for like references and jokes and Bobby and I, because we're definitely going to be... The game itself is obviously rooted from the show. Be rad if we all knew. We all knew. This is such a huge wall. It's like Gigantor wall. Like I said, I promise it's not bad like Killer Clowns was. I promise. Yo, the guy from RoboCop's in it too. I know exactly who you're talking about when you say that. Exactly. I don't know if I've seen him in a whole lot of other things, but like RoboCop and that. What are they gonna make, Showgirls a video game? I don't. Showgirls. I don't think I'm familiar with Showgirls. Sir, I don't understand. Who needs a knife in a nuke fight anyways? All you gotta do is simply push a button. If you take out their arms, they can't push the button. See? This is why watching is beneficial. The interaction is so much more beneficial. Oh, he's in Showgirls. Yeah, I didn't. I don't know. Like I said, I don't think I've ever seen. Who's in it? I almost feel like I can see like the cover art, but I don't think I ever saw the movie. I need to rewatch it now. Yeah, no doubt. It's on Netflix until the 31st, at least in the North American region it is. I don't know about anywhere else. I think Gray looked it up on Netflix, and I don't think it was there for him. Belgian Netflix is a little different than American Netflix. Can't help but get the feeling like Kirsten is not interested in watching the movie either. Oh, if Brian suggested it, I'm not interested. I don't know if she watched any of Killer Clowns or not, but I may have ruined my reputation as a movie advice giver by suggesting. Although I was pretty clear up front about it. Really, you don't want to watch the movie that we're playing the game for? Psh. Psh. You don't want to watch a good movie you'd be able to banter with, understand what we're doing tomorrow. Psh. I'm pretty sure you're the only person in chat that hasn't seen it. I don't know if that helps or hurts the cause, but it's like, oh, I like being original. I like being different. In the UK, it's on Disney Plus. Okay, good to know. Good to know. Highest budget NC. Oh yeah, that's probably why I haven't seen it then. NC-17. Yeah, that, I don't. I'm not known for seeing those movies. Not publicly. I know that it's not always naughty. Sometimes it's gory and stuff too. But I doubt that's what the. I mean, I don't know. Showgirls could mean a number of different things. So I have no idea. Like I said, I think I know the cover art, but I'm 99% sure I never saw it. Whoa! Got stuck on. Oh, the ladder. I was gonna say I got stuck on something. I don't know why. It kind of bums me out that I'm assuming Gerg hasn't seen it too. Gerg, where are you? I'm gonna ask him. I'll hit him up on Discord. Like the whole interface with the movie, like how it's all like futuristic and like web-based before web-based was a thing. Like I thought that was really cool. It's kind of like looking back now, you're like, oh yeah, that's cool. They were ahead of times. But like back then it was way ahead, right? Like, would you like to know more? Gerg has seen it. So Kirsten is the only one that hasn't seen it. Again, I don't think that changes anything, but watch the movie. Raised, you've seen it, haven't you? What's the Raised think of the movie? I don't know if a Raised opinion will raise the likelihood of her watching it, or if every time I say she should watch it, it actually lessens the chances. You know, there's the oppositional defiance out there. Like Reese and I both suffer from that. So like the more somebody tries to convince you to do something, the more you resist it. I blame my parents for that. I also blame myself for Reese because, like, you know, when you're a kid and you're like, you better not eat that broccoli. You better not eat that broccoli. Oh my gosh, you ate that broccoli. Why did you do eating that broccoli? Ah, come on. Oh, you better not eat another piece, though. You know, you better not eat, you know, like, it's kind of training the brain to do the opposite, right? My wife denies that that's a possibility, that there's no way we could have done that to our son, but I feel like that just happens, right? It's programming. Any kind of programming. Like, you learn to speak English. You don't just know how to speak Japanese or German, too, right? Like, you have to be programmed. You have to learn these things. And although behaviors are not always learned, often those are. So I feel like we're totally responsible for Reese and his situation with that. And I blame my parents for mine, you know? I'm sure I was a pain in the butt as a kid. I've been told quite frequently that I was. So, actually, I've not seen Starship Troopers, but I've seen some reason. I thought you said you'd seen the sequels. You've seen the sequels, but you haven't seen the other ones? I'm confused, John. I feel like you're taking Kirsten's side right now. There's no sides. Come on. Come on. There's only one side. We already know, right? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm being ignored, you guys. Hey, here's the Farquaad hat. So this is probably where the roped off fence was that I was talking about earlier. Told me I was allergic to cigarettes, so I never smoked one. I had a friend who his brother clearly had some like drug issues, right? An older brother. And the parents told my friend, who was my age, that the older brother overdosed on marijuana and was in the hospital for 2 weeks on life support. I mean, I'm not saying it's not possible, but it's not possible. Like, unless you're fully allergic to the cannabis, you're not going to need life support unless there's something else going on, right? Like, cannabis does not do that to the human body. I have known a couple people who have been allergic, or at least claim to be, and they've explained their situation where they've consumed and had some pretty rough goes. But even the people who were like allergic to, literally were like fine 3 hours later, 4 hours later. So my whole childhood, you know, one of my best friends thought his brother OD'd on marijuana and would argue tooth and nail with like the DARE teachers at school and like, marijuana can kill you, you know, like it was like a big deal. He's all grown now. He's got one of them weed pens. He drives around like no big deal. I'm like, bro, like, what are you doing? You can't do that. That's illegal. So like, it's funny how it's come full circle now. Totally different, right? Like, it's hilarious to me. Clearly, his brother probably had some more embarrassing things going on. There was always talk about things were stolen from the house, like he stole like stereo equipment and things like that to help fund his drug problem. Listen, I'm sure there's probably been somebody out there, but I don't know any stories of anybody stealing or hurting people for marijuana. Like, the addiction is not like crack or heroin or, you know, some of those other ones that are out there. So I always just kind of assume that the older brother had something. And now we're all older. I don't know that he's ever had the talk with his brother and been like, you know, what were you doing? Or was mom and dad just lying, you know, or whatever. Like, you know, and he was a big time snowboarder and like surfer. So, I mean, the whole cannabis thing lines up, but I don't, you know. And again, maybe he was allergic. Maybe there are some stories out there. I've just never heard them. Reefer madness. Huge piece of propaganda. Yeah. And, you know, it worked, right? It doesn't matter if it's true or not if it works, right? Doesn't matter if it's true or not if it works. Yeah, I remember the first time I saw that movie, too. It was actually hilarious. Watching them like, like how they're like, come on, like, one of the, around April during the 420 season, Great Notion, the brewery that I go to, they do theme brews. Like I said, they do Halloween brews and stuff like that. They have one that they call the Refirm Madness. So not reefer, but reefer for re-fermentation, right? Refirm madness. That's pretty crazy. And it's got like the artwork that looks very similar to the movie and stuff. Yeah. Oh yeah, and I saw your comment, Gerg, bro. If I wanted you to play Fortnite, you would play Fortnite. We both know it. I have my ways. I just don't want to carry you around. You'd end up hopping in a car and driving into me and stuff. I don't want that. Holy crap, it's almost break time. I mean, not quite, but I mean, it's getting there. See? We can agree. You know, I'd make a deal like, I'll play Hunting Grounds if you play Fortnite. And you'd be like, all right. Nancy Reagan, who said, what? Just say no. Yeah, I think Nancy was the just say no gal. Just say no to drugs. Then there's the comedian Bert Kreischer. When somebody offers you drugs, just take half. Wait 45 minutes and see what it does to you, and then you can decide if you need to proceed to take more or not. Just take half, though. Probably not the best advice. Probably not the best advice. Not even halfway done. Whoa, we're not even halfway done. So we're going to be checking out The Quiet Place on Wednesday as well. And it wouldn't hurt to rewatch or catch for the first time the movie Quiet Place. That universe is crazy. Like the whole concept, like there will be a lot of things that if you don't know the movie, you won't understand in the game. Or it won't be obvious right off the bat. Like, for example, like the sound stuff. The enemies cannot see you. They can only hear you, which is probably pretty well known. But in order to keep on the low and prevent them from hearing you, travel is almost impossible. If you think about walking on a gravel road or walking down like a woodsy area, you're gonna find things that crackle, crumble, and crack, right? Snap, crackle, pop, Rice Krispies. So they have ways of like laying things down to like suppress sounds. So that like on gravel roads, they'll put like, I don't think it's flour, but they put some sort of like a mulch or something down that's soft. So your footsteps. So there's like a lot of little things like that that I think would be beneficial. But I also understand it's a scary movie, not everybody's thing. But also, if you're there for the stream, you're probably okay with the movie. It's going to be a lot like Alien Isolation. So I will probably do a little bit of both, of playing with my microphone on and off, you know, testing to see how sensitive it is. But also probably won't be able to interact with you guys a whole lot while that's happening, because I don't want to get eaten. Not unless it's intentional, anyways. John Bond. John Bond. Used to have a friend who was super into John Bon Jovi. Like, he's not with us anymore. He unfortunately died of heart failure really young. He was like 37 or something like that. Bro had a history of going fast, though. I will say that. You know, when he was young, he liked the things that make him go fast, and I'm not talking caffeine. So when I met him, he had been sort of like a recovering situation, right? Like, used to do, doesn't do anymore. But it's my understanding that the damage had already been done. And, you know, he treated his wife like crap. They never got along. They were like, you know, middle school sweethearts that had, you know, stayed together, and they were in their 30s. And she was a nurse. And I always wondered, you know what I mean? Like, that's a terrible thing to say. I always wondered. But, you know, there's those stories about, like, being trapped and stuff. And, you know, I never saw him as a threat like that. But I also did see how he treated her, and kind of always wondered, like, That's terrible to think, though, right? Like, terrible. Like, I understand that. Terrible to even think that somebody could be doing that, especially if there's no real grounds for any foul play. But, you know, you never know. Yeah, everywhere we went, though, bro had John Bon Jovi on. He had an RX-7 for a minute. It was like a 20th or 15th anniversary, some sort of anniversary edition or special edition. And he thought that thing was the coolest car to hit the streets ever. And we'd roll around. He also had one of those little Toyota. It was a mini truck, but it wasn't lowered. right? It was just like a little mini truck at standard height, and he hot rodded around. Those were his two cars, the RX-7 and that little Toyota truck. And he hot rodded around like nobody's business in those things, just blaring out like, you know, Styx, John Bon. Yeah, a lot of that old school stuff. I miss that dude, but I also, you know, I also question some of, like I said, some of those things. Come on, give me the benefit of the doubt here, game. Did you get the lever trophy? Yes, sir, I sure did. Thank you, Chacho. Is this the longie? No. Yeah, I knew it. Boy, it's gonna be like halftime at halftime. Let's see here. Your wife is your partner or friend. Yeah, no, I'm with you, Brian. And I you know, over my time, you know, I've met quite a lot of people. I've got some really high-end, high-class people. Most of them are friends of family and such like that, or random encounters at work and things. But I mean, I've also met a ton of, like, you know, greasy people and stuff too. But you know, there's certainly some ones that have stood out in certain ways. You know, like when a spouse acts a certain way, and it could be either side, right? When a spouse acts a certain way, you know, you almost kind of like start to question some of the behaviors that happen behind closed doors. Like, you know, again, I completely different scenario, but I had this the husband and a wife friend. We don't see him anymore, but husband and wife friend that we used to hang out with frequently. And, you know, nothing too crazy, no weekends away or anything, but like, you know, dinner parties and like hanging out on Halloween and all you know, things like that. Right. And, my wife had a phenomenal relationship with both of them. And, you know, I was pretty good friends with the husband, but the wife would like never look me in the eye. She would never really speak to me. When we'd see each other, like at the store or whatever, she'd always be like, hi. You know, and it always made me feel like I had done something. You know what I mean? Like, I felt like I had made her feel uncomfortable or something. And, you know, I mentioned that to the wife, and she said, you know, I kind of picked up on a weird vibe between you two as well. And not like a sexual, like, oh, you guys are vibing or anything like that. Just like it was kind of uncomfortable. And, you know, so I always wondered, like, did I do something? Which is very possible. I have a very open, yappity-yap mouth. But, I mean, I'm also pretty considerate, and I'm pretty aware of things. More so now than I guess I used to be. But, you know, I always wondered, like, was there like some intimidation of like jealousy or something? Like, was there like some don't you look at another man kind of a thing, you know? Like, again, I feel bad questioning or judging people, especially people I consider friends, you know? But there are those weird moments, right? Like, your gut's pretty good at selling things. You know, I had another friend who passed away, and the way they died, I knew this person really well. Really well. Like, I'm not sure there was many people on the planet that knew this person better than I did. Right? And I'm not just saying that to say that. Jesus. Had you not been subbed, bro? Oh, you switched to your other account. Gotcha. um, you know, she passed away, and you know, I couldn't help. Like, I have this weird feeling that that was not what we were told happened. Is not what happened. But you know, again, I can't help but feel terrible. I have no grounds to take anywhere. There's no, you know, provide information or like there's no evidence or any. It's just like that gut feeling. And again, I felt bad because I actually didn't know the person that was involved at all. But I knew the person who was no longer with us. And just that weird feeling in your gut, man. I hate that. You know, historically, mine's been pretty solid. Like, when I got you know... Usually the best time when I know it's right is when I think I've made a mistake. Then I know I've made a mistake. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where my guts come in the best. Like, oh man, did you just say something you shouldn't have? You probably said something you shouldn't have. And I'll go over it 100 times in my head, and by the 99th time, I'm like, damn it, I shouldn't have said that. You know what I mean? Like, or you shouldn't have done that. Shouldn't have interacted that way, or whatever the case may be. But that gut's been pretty good to me, other than it sticks out pretty far these days. That's the only other downside to my gut. It's been maybe too accurate on certain things, which again is scary because those moments that, like, you know, you have that like weird foul play kind of, you know, even if it's minor, like knowing that you're consistently right. It also goes to my head because, like, then I start thinking like Gray, where I'm never wrong, I'm always right, you know. Chime in, Gray, in the chat right now. I am always right. Thank you for acknowledging me. Gene was dull. Who had a problem with that? What up, Yeah. How's the doing? Oh, I got messages popping up too. It's probably Gerd. Oh, and look at that. Oh, here we go. Are you serious right now? Are you serious right now? All I know is you better have that game downloaded and you better have your beard tomorrow. That's all I know, Gerg. That's, if I know nothing else, that's all I know, bro. I had a situation similar to that too recently, Ray. Not recently, it was about 4 or 5 years ago. Ironically, we went out on like not like a group date, but we went out to this event with that couple I was talking about that I always felt weird, like the wife, you know, maybe I'd made her feel uncomfortable or something, right? Like something was off with that situation. We went out with them and some other people, and good night, everything was good, and I came home, and I made a comment to the wife. I said, hey, you know, so-and-so and so-and-so were nice. And she was like, yeah. And I was like, you know, did you get weird vibes from the wife? She was like, not really. She seemed pretty cool. Why? I was like, I don't know. She gave me weird vibes. And it was like the exact opposite of the other wife's vibes. So instead of like disengaging and not engaging with me, she was like, almost making me feel uncomfortable with the way she was eyeing me and talking to me, right? Married, husband right there, wife right there. Just a weird situation. And fast forward a couple of weeks, and we were at, I don't remember what we were doing, but again, it was a big, sort of a group function. Multiple people there, multiple families, multiple, you know, husbands and wives, kids, all that. I think it was a birthday party or something. And, I ended up in the kitchen, having a conversation with a bunch of people that slowly deteriorated, and before I knew it, it was just me and the wife. And she started like talking to me, and she got like, she was like in my face, like, oh yeah, and what if we, and I'm just like, and she straight up tried to kiss me, and I was like, hey, I appreciate this, but I'm married, thank you. And I immediately left the room and went to the wife and went, so-and-so's just tried to kiss me. And she was like, what? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, no. And I was like, I know, right? And so we packed up and we left. And like days would go on, and there was a couple more interactions that were very similar to that. And later we found out that the husband and wife had a pretty open relationship. Which is fine. To each their own. I don't have any judgment. None. But I mean, there should probably be some boundaries, right? Like, you probably should ask, right? If that's something. And luckily, they had moved here for a job thing, and they'd been here for a while, and I don't think the job thing was working out, so they went back to where they had came from. And I have not seen them since. However, there was a recent event that they flew in for that we were invited to, and I was like, wait, the so-and-so is gonna be there? And I got report that they were, and I was like, I think I'm gonna pass on this, attending this. And kind of, like I said, I'm not against people doing stuff. Anybody can do pretty much whatever they want as long as it doesn't hurt people. But I do kind of feel like that might fall into the classification of hurting someone, right? Like, I mean, if we were open like that too, and that was our goal, then no harm, no foul. Jillian and I don't live like that though. We're pretty, I mean, I wouldn't say I'm a jealous type, but I'm not interested in finding out if I'm a jealous type. So, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just me. And I have friends that live in all sorts of different scenarios, and I support whatever makes people happy. But yeah, that's definitely not good when you are pursued and you're also in a relationship or situation. But yeah, that was an uncomfortable one for me. I mean, part of me was like, I still got it, right? I still got it. But like, I mean, the rest of me was kind of like, Just one of those things. Oh, in my early start. So are mine raised. No, I get it though. Yeah, my mom, I really owe my mom for having like my open-minded, accept most, and like I mentioned earlier, my grandma too. Both of those influences, I didn't stand a chance. Like even people that like you guys know, I ran a SOCOM clan for a long time. I had some pretty big moments where like people exploded, right? Like, in anger, frustration, in retaliation, revenge, whatever it may have been, right? And I mean, as I mentioned, I wasn't always as approachable and positive as I am these days. I did have kind of a dark, 20s, but you know, I've always been the bigger person to like reach out and try to make amends. And, you know, you guys know that like Nick was a huge part of HTG for a while. And just one day he literally disappeared. I still have no idea if I said something that upset him. One of our last interactions, we had a disagreement, and he was basically telling me what he felt was the right move for the channel, and he was being very passionate about it. And I sort of wrote it off. I was like, bro, I appreciate your input, but like, that's not what I'm trying to do right now. Like, thanks, but no thanks. And he continued, and that was our last interaction. So I've always attributed our fallout to that moment, but I have no idea. I mean, as of recent, another friend had a pretty rough moment and lashed out on me about it, and I still have no idea. I've reached out 3 or 4 times trying to see, like, hey, what's up, man? Do you want to talk about that? Like, I'm not like, hey, you owe me an apology and never can be. That's not it at all. I want to know what happened. I want to know, like, if I truly did something to offend people, I would like to know what that was so I don't do it again. You know, I've had situations where I say things, my bluntness, my honesty, my lack of thinking before I speak has totally got my foot in my mouth many a times. But I also want to learn and grow from those situations. I don't want to bury them under the rug and go, oh, that never happened. That doesn't sound like me at all. I would never do that. No, I've done that. I want to do that. I want to learn how to not do that again, right? You know, and if I did upset or hurt somebody's feelings by saying something, you know, if standing up for one person was offensive to another, if it was as simple as that, I don't know what it is, but I've always wanted to know. What's this? I got more messages coming in. Dan, where do you find this junk? Yeah, Girk sending me wildly crazy gifts. And I don't mean like gifts, minus the T, just gifts. What I ought to start doing, I don't know if this would encourage viewability or not. I ought to start doing like giveaways that are trivia based. So like tomorrow we're playing Starship Troopers. I have some Starship Troopers trivia, right? And then like we're playing Quiet Place Wednesday. Quiet Place trivia. I'm sure y'all saw it, but just in case you didn't, I also found a Bobby deal on this. It was sub $20, $19.99. Sub $20 though. Fell into the Bobby price. So I've got that. So like Resident Evil could also be trivia stuff, right? Like, I don't know how, if it would be like exclusive to viewers only, or if like mods would be eligible, or you know what I mean? Like, I don't know how to do it. I kind of miss the giveaways, but I also still don't know that pricing has come to a point where I can support that financially and continue to move forward, right? Like before, and I still have a bunch of stuff that I could give away. Most of it's like doubled or tripled in value and rarity and money. Like you go try to buy some of these poly bags that I have that I paid $3.99 for. Some of them are 20, 25, $30. And fairly rare and old. Most of them are out of circulation, right? And have been for years. So let's back this off a wee bit, huh? Getting pretty close to break time. I've always thought it was pronounced GIF. Yeah, I mean, as somebody who makes graphics, I've always really struggled with that too. It's kind of like the word collectible. It can be spelled with an I or an A, and it still means the same. Like GIF and GIF, I think ultimately are both widely accepted. I think GIF, I think is the actual. But again, as somebody who even makes those types of graphics, I have always sort of struggled with that as well. Because I thought it was GIF too, like Jiffy peanut butter, when they first, you know, were popping up and before they started becoming animated. Because if you remember, and maybe you guys don't, there used to be another Photoshop. So there was Photoshop that Adobe owned, but they also had, what was it called? Fireworks, Adobe Fireworks. And it was like almost like a custom GIF maker. Like they had like a timeline, sort of like a video editor. And I think that's all incorporated into Photoshop now. And they sort of absorbed that other software because I don't think Fireworks is around anymore at all, like in any capacity. It might be. I have the full suite. I'll have to look and see, because now I'm curious. Oh, interesting. Google says the guy who invented it says it's GIF. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, but, I mean, the community and the world is sort of torn, which, again, comes back to my original statement. I think they're both accepted. I mean, for the sake of our Discord channel, GIFcord doesn't sound nearly as good as GIFcord. So I've kind of ruled with that as my final answer. But no, I like collectible, right? I remember back in the early days of Happy Thumbs, I'd put up all collectibles, ABLES, and people would be like, you know, you're spelling it wrong. And I'd be like, no, I'm not. And I'd Google it, and I'd be like, oh. And same with like flyer, right? Flyer, FLYER, FLIER. I mean, I think both are acceptable. I don't know if there is a proper, there might be by technicality somewhere, like Webster or somebody may have defined that, but ultimately I think it's pretty much however you want. Hey, Gray, do you have any up, dog? I don't think Gray's out there anymore. In fact, I wonder if I've got him addicted. I wonder if he's playing this. Nope, he's not playing anything. What's wrong with you? Chacho, are you out there, bro? You are out there. You love Resident Evil. Okay, perfect. What out of the 5 levels is this the biggest? Second biggest? And I mean, size doesn't always matter. So they say. Sometimes you can have a smaller area, but more of a precarious cleaning zone. Like I think of like a fence or pillars or posts. They have all the way around. They have up and down. They have the sides. They have the top and bottom. You know, the playground was really tedious with all those kinds of things. So would you say this is the biggest or longest one? Or would you say that there are bigger ones than this? Or is this the biggest? Which is the least namist? Isn't that where namaste came from? The namaste? The least namist? Namaste? Yeah, Brian, just stop taking the phone calls, bro. Problem solved. Yeah, we were talking about the Call of Duty stuff recently last night, and he had an argument he deemed valid. We won't go into details on it, but he had a statement, and I was like, the way he worded it, though, he shot himself in the foot. And if anybody knows to be careful when speaking to me, it's him, because he knows I'll catch you on a technicality. And he's really good. He does it to me too. It pisses me off. He's really smart and good with his words as well, which I'm happy for him. I'm glad that he's a communicator and that he knows how to use words strategically and beneficially, right? Like, he's not just a flapper. I mean, I do a lot of flapping, don't get me wrong, but when it's time, like if we're having a debate or I'm passionate about something, or you know, you're asking me questions about whatever, I mean, you know, I'm pretty good. Like, I've been told by a lot of people I probably should be a lobbyist or a lawyer and not a video game consultant. Like, I should probably be a lobbyist because I can see through the BS. I can word through the BS. I can also distract and whatever. But he had me, so he thought. And then I was like, bro, you're still choosing to do that in the first place. Because he was basically like, it's a byproduct of what happens when that happens, right? Like, when XYZ is in place, then I'm vulnerable to those things. And I was like, well, bro, just don't XYZ and you're good. And he was like, damn it. Like, you can just see it in his face. Like, damn it. Like, he thought he had me. And his statement was pretty valid. It was pretty valid, but the way he chose his words, I was able to sort of like, you know, and then I don't remember, he got me with something else right after that too. Like I said, like when he and I have a debate about something, it's one of my favorite times. The only thing I don't like about it is when one of us gets really upset, right? And it happens. You know, I'm usually pretty good about that stuff, but I mean, even last night when we had a pretty heated debate, I was like ready for bed, and he even made a joke earlier in the evening, like, "Don't wait up for me, I'll be fine." You know, I was like, "Bro, I always wait up for you. What do you mean? Like, it's not like an option. It's a have to. Like when he works, I always stay up and check in with him and talk to him and make sure his day went okay and everything. Like that's, you know, my grandmother did that with me, and I as much as I was like, oh damn, I got to deal with grandma when I get home. Like it still sticks with me. It was good conversation. It was a good calm down if I had a rough day at work or at school or whatever the case may be, and it always let me know that she cared, right? Like that she was there for me. So I want to make sure that Reese knows that too, like because we live in a really troubling time where everyone wants to troll and misdirect and yell at each other, and you know, I got to be right, and if I'm not right, then I'm not gonna listen to you, you know, and like all these things, and like that's why I'm super proud that he's as good of a communicator and a wordsmith, and he's so quick. Like I think that I'm pretty quick-witted with like comebacks and statements and like pun connections and like word connections and things, but I mean, he's light years ahead of me. Light years ahead. I hate saying it because I like being the funniest guy in the house, but I don't think I hold that crown anymore. I think he's taken that from me. He's also taller than me, which I don't love either, but it is what it is. Last night he's popping off and he's like, if you don't shut it, I'm gonna come over there and kick your arse. And I was like, I'd like to see you try, sir. Like, and he kind of looked at me like, are you sure about that? And I was like, maybe. Like, as somebody who's actually been in fights, I'm confident that that if it ever came to that, you know, I wouldn't be at a disadvantage. I'll just say that. Somebody who's never been in a fight, you know, yeah. But when I grew up, I had a neighbor, a friend. His name was actually Brian. It was Brian with a Y. And he lived right across the street. Well, one house over and right across the street from me. And when we moved in, it was just his mom, him, and his younger sister, who was definitely a popular. I'm surprised she didn't become a movie star. Honestly, like she had that kind of like girl next door, super cute, super down to earth. My childhood buddy Jason Marabella actually dated her for a while, and it was a tough breakup when they broke up. But um, Brian's mom met a guy, and they got serious, and he moved in. I just now noticed. Look at all these clovers. Hey, look, there's a 4-leaf clover. Well, you can show. There's a bunch of them. There were nights when I would get picked up from the babysitter. You know, I was probably like 12, 13 years old, right at the end of my babysitting days. I'd get picked up from the babysitter, and we'd be coming up our hill to our house. And on the right side, right before we turned left to go into our driveway, you'd see Brian and his stepdad out in the yard just drag out, fist fight, kicking the crap out of each other. And then 30 minutes later, the cops there. And, I remember thinking when I was a kid, like, ain't no parent gonna control me and la-di-da-di-da, right? And then, like, I even remember stepping to my dad a couple of times, trying to fight him. And I remember one time I even took a cheap shot. He said something to me and embarrassed me. And then I said, I looked at him like, how dare you? And I was like about to cry. And then he said something else to me, and I tried to zing him, and the zing didn't land. And he said something else and got me again. And I turned and I just kicked him right in the junk, right in front of the whole neighborhood. Just pow. And then I turned and I ran so fast, you guys. So, I think of those moments, and I've done everything in my power to prevent Reese and I from being on that level at all. Like, he's annoyed with me. I'm definitely the Red Foreman to his Eric Foreman. I'm always up in his business. I'm always ready to put my foot where it doesn't belong if I need to, but it's not because of anything other than I just want to see him succeed. I want to see him have an amazing life. I want him to see the world that he wants to see and be a part of. I don't want him to be limited to things that could have been, right? Like, I've made some choices that landed me where I'm at, and I'm grateful that I'm here, but I always wonder, how things would have been had I have, stuck out a couple of other things that I bailed on, right? And even being a lawyer or a lobbyist, because for a minute I was all in on that. But I mean, they say it's never too late, but I don't know any firm that's trying to hire a 47-year-old guy. And that's one of those things too. Like, somehow I'm just like naturally smart when it comes to like the laws. It's almost like I was a lawyer in a previous life or something, right? Like, but like, also was a criminal as a teenager. There's some of that too that I learned the hard way, but like, there's a lot of stuff that I understand and I think would be good at being a lawyer, right? Like, just the way that I present and do I feel like I would be a deal. But like, again, I'm not trying to be a lawyer at 47 now. So hey guys, I'm gonna go ahead and take a quick BRB. It shouldn't take me too long. I'm gonna drain the tank, grab a drink, and I'll be back in a hot second. I'm also gonna make sure Reese hasn't been eavesdropping on me, because I'm gonna be in trouble if he has. There might be a fight in the kitchen. I'll be back with a black eye. All right, I am back. What is up? Hey, what up there, Undergrinder? Welcome to the stream. Drex is laying down on our new couch that we got and just passed out. It's such a terrible, gross day. It's raining so hard. Wind's blowing. The rain is literally coming down at like a 45-degree angle. It's gross. I'm hoping it gets better throughout the week. Because on Saturday, we're going to see my brother and his little boy. I'm going to get to see my nephew. Haven't seen him in a bit. He's actually grown. You know how it is in the first like 6 months of a baby's life, like exponentially change, right? Like from like the first 2 weeks to the first 2 months to the first 6 months, like it's crazy how much they change. So I'm looking forward to seeing him. I haven't seen him in a couple weeks. We've got photos and stuff, but getting to hold him. I'll let the wife change him and all that. But yeah, so exciting about that. Like I said, I got to figure out what's going on for Friday because, hey, Gray, are you out there? I don't think you're out there. But we need to figure out if we're going to try to play Call of Duty or not, if it's available. But he likes the new couch. Nah. I don't know that anybody does. I mean, it works. It's a decent, like, at least a substitute replacement for now. The color was pretty close. I think that was the closest thing that we all agreed on. Like, the color was good. The stiffness and hardness of the cushions and stuff, it's pretty rock-like. Like, it's not a very cushiony couch, even though it's got cushions on it. They're not really cushions. They're more of, like, slabs. You know, and I don't sit on it much. It doesn't bother me at all. Like, I spend maybe an hour a year on that thing. So, visually, it doesn't bother me because I could care less. But physically, it's a little stiff. But again, I don't use it very often, so I don't really mind it. But Drex doesn't love it. It's not as wide. So, like, he doesn't have the amount of, like, kicking it room that he used to. I mean, it's as long, but it's not as wide, right? So like the cushions sort of protrude out in the sitting area. But he's down there just passed out right now, you know, and he's got that tongue that sticks out. So when he sleeps and he's like in a good sleep, and that's how he is down there right now, with his little tongue sticking out. It's like, gotta be one of the cutest things to ever exist. And let's see here. So we can get further to, I think, the second biggest. So this one is like one of the biggest ones. I think this one is the biggest one. I asked you earlier, and then I never looked. So that was my bad. You never listened to me, he says. You know, it's too bad that, like, I mean, I guess it isn't too bad because we've talked about this a lot about copyright and stuff. But it's unfortunate that I can't just like fire up Shrek and just play the movie and then play this, right? Like we can't all just hang together. Same with like other things like Starship Troopers and maybe even Killer Clowns. Like I would have loved to have watched that with a bunch of you, especially for those who had never seen it before. Because I mean, watching a movie by yourself is not as fun as watching a movie with people too, right? I mean, I always have more fun with friends and gaming and all of that. So I wish there was a way that, like, you know, I mean, I guess we could. It's just a matter of copyright. And I mean, I think if you play a whole movie, you probably get in more trouble than if you use a clip or a sample of a TV show or something, you know, or a song for that matter. But I don't know. I could be wrong. But I mean, it might be chill. It might be something we could do on like HTGtv. Try it. Do like a hangout movie screen session. But I'm pretty sure that like we would need permission from somebody or we'd be getting in troubles. Sort of like, you know, pay for the rights, like pay $50 or $100 to host using that. So you get like a license, right? That would actually be genius. Because then, you know, you could have people come and watch. Now, obviously, the license would have to be like for so many people or something too, right? Like you'd have to like, you know, I'm going to have 100 people or less in my stream watching this. So I would pay you X amount of dollars. Now, like Dr. Disrespect and some of the bigger guys that are out there streaming to 50, 40, 1,000 people at a time, they probably have to pay a little bit more. But I mean, I'm sure it all could be afforded, right? Like, that's actually like not a bad plan for the movies, like especially older movies. Like could you imagine if Starship Troopers, right, was available to license out like that, and with the game out right now, like the entire new audience, that people who haven't seen it, whether they're young or old, like, and like if a content creator hosted that show where like, maybe they turn the camera off, but their mic's still on and they're interacting and like laughing, and like you get to watch with people as like a group. I feel like that would be like a good experience. I mean, you can't necessarily go see Starship Troopers in the theater with a bunch of friends and people, right? Like, we all live in different states or different countries, so it's not like even if you could, like, it would be a reality for us. But digitally, in the web space, again, and they could potentially make money off of that. I'm not saying like give me movies for free and let's just pirate everything. I'm saying let's give everybody a piece. Let's give the people a chance to watch movies for free through the content creator. The content creator gets money and rev from the ads and subscriptions and super chats and blah blah blah. And and then the company who owns the rights to the movie, Universal, Paramount, Fox, whoever it is, right? Like, gets a chunk of something too, a license. I think that'd be an alright idea. Watching all the leaves blow from my yard. So what you're saying is I should actually accept the key right now that's being offered to me for leaf blowing sim. Is that what you're saying? You want to see me play leaf blowing sim? It's on PC only right now, and we all know my PC doesn't like to stream and play games at the same time. At least when we tried Funko Fusion, it didn't. Maybe the updates to the PC and the video card, maybe that would support things now. I mean, maybe that game was just really intensive, especially in the early build. It needed a lot of power to run. I don't know. Leaf blowing sim might not be a problem. Gray bought this one the other day too and was like, why would you want to use this? I'm like, you don't, I told you not to buy it. Like, it's such a weird one. Yeah. Do I have fluids? I don't have fluids, huh? Anybody do anything over the weekend? I didn't even ask that earlier. My bad. I mentioned mine was pretty chill. We went to Great Notion yesterday. Had a good lunch. And then came home and watched the game. And Saturday, I spent the day mostly working on game break stuff, getting buttons set up, getting files transferred over, getting things sort of geared up for that, as that's coming up soon. And then Gray and I played a bunch of PowerWash Sim just because we were looking for something to play, and we weren't really feeling like we wanted to get all angry and into Apex or Fortnite or anything like big like that. We were looking for something sort of chill. We had just played Fall Guys, and he wasn't really, and I was fine with playing with whatever. And then I joked, and I was like, hey, we got PowerWash Sim we can play. And he was like, okay, PS4, PS5. I was like, what? Are you serious right now? I'll play whatever one you want to play, bro. Like, I'll play whatever one. So it turned out it had been a long time since I fired up the PS4 version, if I'd ever even played it. I was looking, I don't think I have any trophies for it. I get to do it all over again. But then for some reason, his PS4 version wouldn't work. Like, it got stuck on the opening load screen. It would go dark, like to a black screen, and then it wouldn't ever do anything. It would just spin and spin and spin and spin and spin. So we jumped over to the PS5 version. So I had to download an update there too. I was like, man, if you'd just figure out which one you want already, I would have been done already. So spent half the day waiting for downloads to finish, but then eventually got to hop in and play. And we got through. He had never played the story, so we started off with the blue van. Got the blue van. We did the motorcycle. We did the cottage, the house. I guess what do they call it? It's not the cottage house. It's something else. Bungalow or something. Bungholio or something. I don't know. And then we got to the playground, and like hours had gone by, like 4 or 5 hours, and I hadn't eaten anything, and I was getting all nauseous, and like I needed to eat. So I was like, bruh, I'm gonna step off and get some food, and I might be back. And then I ended up getting sucked into something else. I don't remember what it was, a show or something. And then I was like, oh crap, I forgot to go back to Dr. Gray. And by then he was out cold. Some of these little cracks are hard to reach. What are you doing?
What are you doing in my swamp?
It's Shrek, same. We're in Duloc. Duloc is the greatest place on earth. I think that's the words. Probably not. Thought it was true love. Oh, maybe. Probably. I watched it today, but I wasn't I wasn't like in it to win it. I was typing a letter and getting a thumbnail made and eating and all of that. I just remember the they're all turning around backward like it's whatever it is rhymes with arse, but you know, they go with something else. This one's mostly done. Mostly. That one spray is like way wonky off to the side. It's so weird how it does that. But this one's almost as big as the freaking playground, I swear. Yeah, Gray and I spent, what, like, it seemed like 2-3 hours on that playground, and we were still only like 70% or something. I was like, what is happening here? Are you even spraying over there, bro? I'm spraying over here, dinging off double time, and you're over there doing what now? But he was working the whole time too. It's just a big level. Lots to clean. You haven't finished it yet. Yeah, well. Looks like we got something to do after I'm done here, huh? I know there's another piece, but I want to ring it off. Yeah, there's definitely like a spot. What the crap is it? Yeah. Dierte seats. Holy cow. I wouldn't want to ride around in this. Bar quad, no, I wouldn't. No, boo? Bad joke? Bar quad, no, I wouldn't. Okay, that's good. There's still like an axle or something under here that's not. Yeah, that's axle. I'm pinging and I'm not seeing nothing. See, it still shows like a tiny little bit. Did I get it? Did I finally get it? Yes! Nailed it, first try! Okay, this one's still got a roof. A roofus. '78. Best year ever. 1978, that is. Not just 78. 1978. If you're wondering the significance of that year, that's the year I was born! Pow, pow, pow! Chris Farley was cast for Shrek, but Mike Myers was like amazing as him. Like that was like at the peak of his stuff too, because he had just gotten done with Austin Powers 1, wasn't it? And like, man, that's a masterpiece too, right? I wish they'd do more of those. Even if they brought us like an animated one or something, because Mike's old and doesn't want to be on camera anymore or something like. Most of that cast is available. Obviously, Vern Troyer is not with us anymore, but, you know, Eddie Murphy and all those guys that were in Shrek and And there's a new Shrek coming, right? There is a new Shrek coming, right? I don't know if Cameron Diaz is involved in it. She's been out of the movie making business for a while, too. So I don't know if, like, Fiona will be in there, or if they'll replace the voice, or how that'll go, but I've heard they're doing a Shrek 5. Hey now, you're an all-star. Get your game on. Don't know the words to the song, yeah, but it goes something like that. Oh, na, 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 na. Who you can show? Whoa, I'm getting some weird lag here. I feel like the game's about to close out on it. Here, actually. Hopefully that saves it. I can't remember. Wait a minute. Yeah, I got some weird glitchies going there, so I don't want to, like, lose my progress, right? The last thing I want is my 80%. And, you know, my PlayStation doesn't crash on me as much as the Xbox seems to. But, I mean, it does happen. And it has historically happened with this game, too. What up, Terry? Welcome to the stream. Hey, look at that. Ring-a-ling-dinging things off. Chris had recorded 80% of the first movie, passed away before it's finished. Really? Chris Farley was... Really? I don't think I ever heard that. And I mean, if you're trying to match body type with the character type, that was a pretty good match. Chris would have done a good job, I'm sure, but, like, I don't know, like, there's almost like a Scottish tone in the Shrek voice, right? Like, from Mike. I don't know if we would have got that from Chris. Chris's voice was so light and, like, you know? I was a huge Farley fan, don't get me wrong. It probably would have been good, too. I feel like Mike was destined for that role, though. And 90% seems like they would have found a way to, like, synthesize his voice or do something to keep that. That's way too much to have to redo. Holy cow. Yeah, I mean, I'd never heard any of the clips or anything. I'm surprised they didn't do, like, a mini version or, like, an unreleased, like... It's probably the same storyline, just different voice acting. I wonder if they just had to go back and do his, or if they did it all, or how that works. Voice acting is... They're pretty crafty with that stuff. Like, even back in the day, they used to be able to splice in, like, you know, bad words that were said in the movie. They'd have, like, a 3-second overlay that'd be like, I love ice cream, instead of, like, you're an a-hole or whatever, right? Like, they'd always change it to, like, the weirdest thing that looked like he could be saying it or she could be saying it. Anybody seen The Hoosier lately? I thought for sure we'd see her with the WNBA finals coming to a close. Hoosier was like one of the only people I could actually talk to about that knew what was going on. I know last time... Whoa! That was weird. I stopped pushing. I tried to go back left, and it was still going right. My controller going bad already? Just some lag or something. I know it was mentioned that Hoosier was busy or something was going on, but Eddie Murphy does not really do movies. Yeah, he does. He just did Beverly Hills Cop 4 or whatever, and they're getting ready to do the next one as well. And he's been in a bunch of stuff, just not as a big dominant roles, right? Like even a few years back, he did that one with Ben Stiller and what was it, Neighborhood Watch or whatever. I mean, I guess that's probably been 8-10 years ago, but he's still been doing movies just like that. He's just having smaller roles in his stuff. I see that the Damon Wayans and Damon Wayans Jr. are about to launch a new show. It's like a sitcom on, I think it's regular cable TV of sorts. I don't know if it's like USA or what channel it was on, but I always loved Damon Wayans. And Damon Jr. has always been great too. Like, you think about it, that is one epic, funny family that has done great things. Like, I don't know what kind of people they are outside of that, but like, I mean, they pretty much founded Jim Carrey. The Living Color was amazing, right? For many reasons. Founded a lot of good actors and stars. You know, it's the whole family. Sean, Kim, Marlon, Damon Jr. I mean, it's amazing. Like, what a great, amazing family. At least I think. You know, I saw a thing the other day. It was talking about Jim Carrey and how like Jim Carrey had tried out for multiple roles and tried to get all these, you know, show spots and wanted to be on SNL, and I guess something he said or did sort of got him on a list of do not hire. And then the Wayans somehow caught wind of him, and they were like, we need this guy. And, you know, and the rest is history, right? Like, that's crazy. All right, those are all clean. All right, that's all clean. That's all clean. I'm pretty sure I'm clean from over here all... Oh, nope. Y'all seen it, I'm sure. I always like it when I get to the end and it's like the last 4 items. What kind of jump? Oh. I see you. Oh. Where's the other card? Let's go hit that other card up. So those trim pieces are likely going to be a problem, yeah. Hey! That's what I thought. Road trim's good. see here. That one's still too, alright. Okay. All of these. Almost all of them. Alright. This one too, eh? Alright. Jim Carrey's a good actor. My favorite role is Tom and John. Yeah, it's definitely a good one. You can't triple stamp a double stamp. It's like I'm running really fast. Yeah, there's definitely some good moments. Okay. Road trim is good. I thought it said no good. I don't really like Jim. I think most of his roles have been pretty good. Like the Truman Show was really good. That whole concept was awesome, and I think he played that role pretty awesomely. I liked, you know, Man on the Moon was a real serious take, but also kind of a, you know, right, like a. I thought that was good. I mean, Dumb and Dumber is obviously a dumb movie, but still, I enjoyed it. I thought, you know, thought it was pretty funny. His acting abilities in that were low end, but hilarious and well done. You know, and then you got other movies like Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. That one was like pretty serious in a way, right? Got real all of a sudden. And I'm trying to think of some other ones that he was gonna, you know, Liar Liar, yeah, you know, whatever. There was the other one where he played God. What was it? Which one was? God, I just had it on the tip of my tongue and I lost it. There's two of them. Steve Carell did one too, right? Like same type of movie. Like all the emails coming in and stuff. I thought that was pretty creative. Like, you know, I guess depending on your religious stance and things like that, I mean, it may have felt like a mockery and may have been, you know, made, you know, not what you'd want to see. But at the same time, like, as someone who takes it for the humor side of it, I always thought it was pretty good. But, I mean, not everybody likes everybody. I like Tom Cruise, and most people hate Tom Cruise. Like, I've always thought he was an epic actor. Like Cocktail, you know, you go way back to, you know, there's definitely some good performances. I really like him in the Mission Impossibles too. I think they're really good movies. I like that whole concept, and I look forward to the new one that's on its way. I really like Simon Pegg, too, and he's been along for the ride on a lot of those Mission Impossibles. He plays a good Benji. Evan Almighty, Bruce Almighty, thank you. Yeah. That's I knew it. I just, for some reason, my brain was like, no. Ooh, I almost got caught slipping here. Better do the hidden wall side before I start making my way around the front side, otherwise I'll end up forgetting this. Like, I don't know why there's such, like, an added bonus. Like, if you find all the stuff on your own. Like, if you get to the end and it shows the last 3 items that you need without having to, like, target and pick off things, right? Like, sometimes I've done it just randomly, right? And I'm like, yes! And then sometimes I've gone and searched for, like, an hour. Like, all right, there's no flashing anywhere. You guys see any flashing out? Okay. And then sometimes we have to go find the parts, too, and come back and tag them so that we can get it done. But I feel pretty good about most of those carts might have like an undercarriage axle or something that isn't showing. That would be like one of my only things. Hey, I'm wondering too, Kirsten or Gerg, have either of you seeked out a guide regarding Starship Troopers? Bobby won't care, so he won't even lift a finger on any of that stuff. But I didn't know if anybody's looked at the trophy list, if anybody's played to see if there's a demo or any kind of a tutorial that we need to do before we can join up. Like, and if there is, you know, feel free to do it before or do it while I'm doing it. Just know that sometimes I whip through those things pretty fast, and if it's a long, lengthy thing or difficult in any way, it might be better to have it done already. But I'm guessing there's a guide out there for the trophies, but I don't know if anybody's looked at one yet. Cocktail soundtrack on cassette. That's dope. Have you noticed cassettes are coming back? Not like fully, but there are a lot of artists that have been making music since those days, right? Since the cassette days, that are now doing like anniversary. Like even MF Doom just did one a couple weeks ago, and they had a bunch of different cassettes. And there's somebody else, I'm trying to think of who else it was, just released a bunch of cassettes, and they sold out almost instantly. And I'm like, where are people even playing these things? Like, I don't think we even have oh, I take that back. Reese bought a 3-in-1. He's got a CD, a cassette, and a record player because he's got a bunch of records. And so he got the whole thing. And so we do have a tape player. Not yet. I can. What game? Are you talking to me? It's Starship Troopers. I don't remember. It's, wait a minute. Where the crap's my game? I know I've got it downloaded already. Yeah, there it is. It's already been pushed off. Let's go ahead and... Oh, I can't... So only when it's on the main page can I tell it to keep on the home. Because, like, Fortnite, you have keep in home. And then I've got, like, Apex, keep in home. Quiet Place? No. Resident Evil? No. PowerWash? Probably. But I can't do that with the other one. Because, I mean, as much as I want to play Hidden Cats in Berlin, London, Paris, New York, and the spooky one that's coming out on Thursday, they don't need to be on my main front page there. Only stuff I play a lot. And Starship Troopers is installed and ready to go. But I don't know. I have no idea what the trophy list looks like. I haven't looked at it at all. I haven't fired the game up. I know we kind of talked about maybe one of us doing that last week, but... I'm not sure that Gerg did. And I don't think Bobby did. Bobby hasn't said anything to me about it if he did. So I'm sure nobody has because nobody said anything. Let's see. Yeah, I thought I had 180 hours on this game, but it turns out it's only 130. So I was giving myself a bonus 50. 50 piece! So I'm probably going to need scaffolding for that top piece. I guess Gerg and Kirsten are AFK for the minute. Cassettes are analog, like vinyl record. They sound warmer. They can. They definitely can, for sure. Especially when you get the cracks and pops of a record spinning. Another thing I'm doing on Saturday this week is I'm going to be going to the Volkswagen dealership to go talk to my point of contact again and harass him about when they're going to have some stuff. I was told they're expected to have orders start in November, but that was a month and a half ago, and he didn't really know. And as it sits right now, you cannot order a Volkswagen Golf R. In fact, there's no Volkswagens that are available. They have what they call the builder on their main website, and you can go through and build a car, but it's not an actual order that would go through to the to the dealership or the manufacturing plant. So that right there is still. All right, let's go ahead and grab this guy. Record player. Yeah, my dad did too. In fact, he sold his not long ago and made a bunch of money off it. I wish he wouldn't have, because, Reese and I would have loved to have had that collection. He had everything from like the B-52s to Wham to, he had all sorts of stuff. My dad was very diverse with his music listenings. And kind of why I have such a broad knowledge of music. My mom was pretty music-oriented, too, for a long time, but she listened to very different stuff. Boy George and Pet Shop Boys and, a bunch of different stuff than my dad. My dad was, my mom listened to a lot of good stuff, too, though. Cat Stevens and, yeah, all sorts of stuff. That ought to take some people back. Cat Stevens. Did you ever listen to Striper? No, I don't think so. I mean, maybe. Back then, I knew a lot of songs, but didn't always know the artist, right? So, if it was a popular song on the radio, yeah, I probably did. If it was not something that was on the radio very often, then probably not, no. My music preference has always been like rap and hip hop and R&B. Like I listen to a lot of like, Boys to Men, a lot of ABC, Tone Loc, Tony, a lot of different stuff. I really liked Full Force, who most people don't know who that is, but they were the bullies in the House Party movies. We're gonna kick your like those guys, those three dudes, those three really muscular, sort of scary dudes. Yeah, they were R&B singers. Full Force. Dun-dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun-dun, ain't my type of hype. Yeah, they were definitely like, for sure, like, they did not have the image that I think represented their music. Definitely gym rats. Never miss arm day. Never. $800 records. That's a lot of records, bruh. All right, let's go up. We're at 95%, but I mean, look what's left. Look what's left. There's a ton left. That's another one I really like. Sort of an R&B and rapper, Heavy D. He's the overweight lover, Heavy D. Girls, they love me. He's the overweight lover, Heavy D. That song was, oh man, you talk about childhood, some of my favorites. That and Rob Bass and DJ Easy Rock, It Takes Two. It takes two to make the thing go right. It takes two to make it out of sight. That's like right out of my childhood. Yeah, this one does take forever. I'm not mad at it. I mean, we've got quite a bit out of it. I likely won't start the next one unless it's really small, because we are getting into what would be like the final hour. The final hour. And that being said, I don't want to start a job that I don't finish, and I don't want to stay super late, because I'd rather have 2 short streams than 1 long one and a non-existent one, right? Like, I'd rather have 2 medium, I guess I should say. 3.5 hours versus 2 or less, 90 minutes, whatever. Gonna have to yeet out onto this rooftop again to finish these up. Final countdown. Never! If I did, it would literally be called the John Bondi stream. All proceeds of this stream go to shutting John Bondi up about me playing this game. No, I'm just kidding, bro. I'm just giving you a hard time. I know you're just kidding around, too. And although there's probably some truth that you'd love to see me play it, I know you understand the situation, and also, like, I don't have it. Shipping it there and back would probably cost more than me buying a copy off eBay. And I don't know that I want to spend $100 or more on that. I did install Lego Dimensions last night, sort of. I fired it up and got it downloading and installing, and then we left and went to lunch. And then we came home, you know, a couple, 3-4 hours later. Yeet! And it was, the TV had turned off, so like the download had finished or whatever. I didn't actually fire the console up and try to play it or anything, though. So I don't know if it's there or not, but I do have Lego Batman 3 ready, and it looked like I had a bunch of the DLCs. I don't know if I have them all. We'll find out. As far as I know, you cannot buy them anymore. I think they were part of the 360 store package that went out, but they might not be 360. They might be Xbox One versions or something. I just know that a lot of the 360 games, including Lego, are no longer available. They stopped selling them in the store. You can still get them via, like, a disc. Same with, like, Lego Lord of the Rings. You cannot get that in the store, or at least you couldn't for a while. It seems like now they brought it back, like they got the license back or something. Somebody was commenting about that the other day, and I don't know if I ever verified that or not. I know on PC you can pick it up, but... All right, already. Come on. I would send you my Lego Rock Band. Yeah, but then I mean, are you just giving them to me? I would imagine you want them back. It's going to cost money to send them to me, and it'll cost money to send them back, too. And I bet you if you figured out how... I bet you it probably would be somewhere around 40 or 50 bucks both ways. So it probably costs, like, I'm guessing it'd probably be 90 to 125 bucks to ship that to me and then ship it back to you. Like, honestly. I could be wrong, but historically sending things It's not cheap, which is why I quit doing the giveaway every week, because I was losing money big time. Like, it's all about giving back. It always was. But when you're falling back because you're giving back, that's when it starts to become a problem. But yeah, there was successful updates and stuff yesterday on Dimension, so I'm hopeful that it will be all good. And yes, I know you warned me about it, but I had gone in and I'm pretty sure I'd bought everything from the store. Even before your warning, John, I had gotten the word that those games were leaving the store. And so I went and spent like $30, and I think I was bragging. I got like 17 Lego games and DLCs for like $12. And I think I got it all. But and I should have all of the stuff for the DLCs to download, but I don't remember. I remember the downloads for the DLCs for Lego Dimensions being wildly confusing. Like, you'd go to the store to get them, but they weren't there, but then you had to go to like this special section and then download them, but then it would tell you to go. I remember it being really weird. I don't remember how it all worked, but I mean, shoot, it's been almost 10 years since I played it. It's been 9 years since I played it, roughly. I am excited to play through that and go fight Lord Vortek and get through all those levels again. Because, I mean, I genuinely have memories of some things. Like, I remember, like, you know, like, the Flintstones was there and that you got it using the TARDIS from Doctor Who. And, like, there's definitely things that I remember. But, I mean, there's also so much that I don't remember. Like, a lot of the free roam stuff. I'm going to regret streaming those Sonic races again. I know that, because those Sonic races were pretty tough. Now, I did pretty good on those, and I'm not trying to brag or anything, because I know those were game-breaking for some people. Some people literally got everything but that and were like, I'm done, I can't do those. And other people fought them for days, weeks, months, and eventually got them. I remember my buddy Jay was telling me, oh, you're going to hate these. And I think it took me like 15, 20 tries, but I got it. And I was like, yeah! Like, I didn't get stuck too long, you know? And I remember people being like, no way, I can't believe you got that. You know? And like, you're like, yeah, boy! Booyaka show! A little bit more close and personal here. Pearson or Gerg make it back yet? Have we seen any sightings of them? Doesn't look like it, huh? I don't know if Raised ever found a guide, if that's what was, or maybe I misunderstood her comment, but Starship Troopers. I'm wondering if there's any trophy guides out there at all. Like, I'm curious to how long to platinum, if some of these trophies are boostable, like, if any of that stuff. Yeah, Public Enemy was one of my favorites too. Like, I was really big into that, you know, fight the power kind of culture, you know what I mean? Like, you know, I was a young teenager, dumb, being influenced by, you know, the culture itself, and like, the F the Police was, you know, not too far before that time, and, oh, you are here. Okay, well, you're back, because I was asking 5 minutes ago and you weren't. Guide for Starship. Have you looked up anything? I'm just curious to see. I was asking Gerg, too. I didn't know if one of you guys are pretty notorious for looking up guides and getting info and trophy platinum times and things like that. I didn't know if we had any expectations of Starship. Haven't found one yet, but also doing like 10 things. Have not looked yet. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I'm curious. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if it's like a 10-hour, if it's like a 5-hour, if it's, you know. I do, John. I do. Technically, the Supergirl is Reese's. Technically, it's his. But I have a Green Arrow, and he has a Green Arrow. I was actually gifted one by. Funny enough, we were gifted two. The Green Arrows, I was gifted two of those by viewers. Two different viewers. One of them had a friend that worked at GameStop, and they were able to just get an extra, and so they sent me one. But they sent me an open one. So, like, they had got one from their friend and used it, and then sent it to me. So I have an open one, and then another member found out that Reese was collecting and sent me one for Reese too. So Reese technically has a green arrow as well. So one of them is open and one of them is sealed. I've got them all tucked away in a very special spot. He got Supergirl because for Christmas he conned my dad into buying him his own version of Lego Dimensions. So when he got that version purchased for Christmas, he ended up getting the Supergirl as part of the pack. By then, I'd already, they didn't introduce that until later, right? I was a launch day purchaser. So I had the launch day version that did not come with Supergirl, but his did. But we do have them both, technically. And, I've got everybody else, too. It's all tucked away in this nice little storage thing, and I'm hoping that it's all good to go, dust-free and all. Come on. It's a funny angle. Woo. All right. Okay, well, I am done, but I'm not done. I don't see any ground flashing. I don't see any trees flashing. Okay, I do see some stuff. Somewhere in here, I think it was maybe the lever we have to close and then clean. I did see some stuff flashing through here. Everything looks good in there. Not seeing any white blips or anything showcasing that I'm... Oh, there we go. Better check the other one too, eh? Special dialogue if you have two Supergirls. I've never heard that. A lot of people get so into the dialogue. I don't dislike it, but I just have never ever made that a focal point for me. Like even yesterday in like Lego Marvel Superheroes and in past Lego games too, people will show up and like people I've never even talked to before will be like, play this person and this person together. Do it now. Please do it. Hey, you're not doing it. Why aren't you doing it? Do it. And I'm like, oh, I'm trying to get mini kits and stuff. Like, why are you so focused on this? Like, because it's hilarious. Just do it. And I mean, some of them I end up doing, but I mean, most of the time I forget about it and move on. I don't know. It's never been a big thing for me. And like, I laugh, like when I hear the Apex banter back and forth, like it's always fun to hear that stuff. So it's not like I hate it, but I just don't ever track down. I've never really been one to figure out who and how and all that. Ooh, I just saw. Okay. Yeah. No. I'm not hating on. I'm just saying like that. I never knew that, but I likely wouldn't because I just never really got into tracking or... I mean, it's like Easter eggs, right? I mean, you'd think I'd be more associated with that stuff, but... All right. Daily shop windows 2 times. Entrance turnstiles and shop sidewalks. Okay, shop sidewalk is good. Oh, it's right here. It's got to be right along this edge, I'm guessing. Damn, I'm good at this game. Terry, welcome back. Not seeing any guides. Lots of tip guides, but no trophy guides. Interesting. Daily shop windows times 2. So there's a tavern window, tavern lower, barber window, barber wall, daily shop lower wall, daily shop window, daily shop window. Okay, so that's definitely one of them. I was just going to say, I wonder if I can power my way through it. Probably that one. No, it's not. It's not that one. It's not that one. So where's another daily shop? Clunk, 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 clunk. Forge window. Forge window. Forge window. Forge window. So it's gotta be somewhere over here. Shop window. Shop window. Shop. Dang, cheeky. Dum, 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 dum. There's one right there. I literally ran across. I'm not used to them providing 2. I don't feel like that's something they normally do. Like, they have extra ladders, extra scaffolding. It's kind of weird. Let's see here. There was a time I was playing Lego Marvel Superheroes, and I thought I would heard somebody say, "There goes Batman." Oops, wrong name. You know, I don't know. Guard booth. Okay, so there it is. There's my last one right there. Booyakasho! A sacrifice I am willing to make. And that's for completing the do-lock job. The do-lock job. I could have used some stuffs too. So Terry, it was you? All these years it was you? Who let the dogs out? Terry, 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 Terry. Who let the dogs out? Terry, 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 Terry. No? Boo? I'm sorry. Sometimes they're good. Sometimes they're not so good. I apologize. Right? All right, so this is the next level. Let's go ahead and get Stubby back on here. So this seems very small. And I can't go up there. What's the trophy for this one? Honeymoon hideaway job. I think that's it, right? Cancel. Wait in the onion carriage for 30 seconds. Let's go ahead and get this out of the way, and then I'll take a photo of this one and use it as my thumbnail next week, and then we'll hang out for a few minutes, and then I'll wrap it up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Can I get a bling? Did I read it wrong? Hey, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Lots of people want to know. Whoa. heard something else. So I always try to get it so I can like easily cover up or Photoshop out the things there and like actually focus on the photo itself. All right, I think I got it. And this is it, right? There's nothing else to this house. It's just this house. Can't go down the trail. Can't go over the woods and through the hills. To grandmother's house we go. I think we're actually at grandmother's house, huh? I'm hearing some like bears or something out in the woods. I'm not loving it, if I'm being honest. Slowest trophy pop ever. I don't disagree. Let's see here. Maybe I can get a better photo. All right. Cool, cool, cool. So who is on point for tomorrow's stream? Everybody gonna check out Starship Troopers? Real quick, let's look at the rest of the trophies for this one too. Only a handful left. But we've got to complete the job, complete the job, complete the job. So we have 4 more jobs. I mean, you know, I feel like 3 jobs would probably, you know what? Let's just do this one. Let's just do this one. I feel like I can do it in 45 minutes, and then there'll be 3 other missions for next week. Right? Right? And if I take too long, I'll just blame Chacho. I mean, it's a pretty small job. So I'll have to take some more photos after we get this one done. Oh, that's right. I just remembered. We're having Burgerville for dinner tonight. We don't often have Burgerville because we don't have one really close to us. But my wife has some friend that lives out near one. And she's going to get some, like, plant stuff. I don't remember exactly what it is. Some cuttings of something or something. And it's a really rare plant. And so she's going out to get it. And she's like, I figured I'd just get us some Burgerville while I'm out there. And I was like, shh. Not going to ask me twice. Ironically, at Burgerville, we get fish and chips. It's the most delicious fish and chips. I loves it. So I think that's what I'll be having for dinner tonight. Fish and chips. Yeah, I'm already 5% done, so. And this is a precarious, small, wonky-do little thing here. Once I start hitting that house up, woo-wee! Blame me what in the world? Of course, I gotta blame somebody, Chacho. Sometimes you just have to be the one. Take one for the team, bro. Take one for the team. You were behind a minute? How dare you, Justin? Leaping forward, what'd you find, a time machine? Hopefully it's a DeLorean. Prefer the TARDIS. Yeah, you know, I've always liked Doctor Who, but I'm definitely more of a DeLorean Back to the Future guy than I am a Doctor Who guy, for sure. You know, I've watched a fair amount of Doctor Who. A wife and I got into it for a while. We haven't watched any of the, like, the last 2 or 3 seasons, but we were pretty caught up for a minute. And we went back and we were watching a lot. I mean, it's impossible to have seen them all, really, if you start late anyways. If you grew up always watching it, you probably have a better chance. But, like, I mean, there's a ridiculous amount of episodes of that show. I mean, it goes back, like, almost 100 years or something. Like, it's one of the longest running, if not the longest running TV show, sci-fi show, whatever. I'm sure there's a classification that gives it the win, but... Chicken tortilla soup. There are lost episodes. Well, probably. There's probably a lot of found episodes too, bro. Who? Who? Chicken tortilla. You know, I never understood the chicken tortilla soup. Does it just got like chips in it or something? I've always been more of a chicken noodle dude. Is it basically just like a fancy chicken noodle? Yeah, I've seen a bunch of the older ones for sure. I don't know about the lost ones, but I've seen a bunch of them. I mean, half the show is in black and white. I mean, maybe even more than half the show if you really go back all the way. Can I open and close this? No. Treasure! It's treasure, Philip! Feel like I'm missing some here, but where it at? Only the first two doctors were in black and white? Really? I thought there was more than that. You would know better than I, as I am no Whovian. I'm more of a who-me-vian. Who me? So I probably got to hit it from the bottom. Giggity. Oh boy. What in the crap is this? Candy cane sign. You know, I used to love candy cane. Now, I'm not a peppermint or mint guy, like, on any level. I mean, I brush my teeth every day, twice a day, sometimes 3 times. But I do not like mint outside of that. Like, I think that's why. I think, like, my brain is, like, it just associates mint with brushing teeth. And I'm all about keeping the teeth clean. But I am not about mint. Not a big fan of mint. I like the cherry candy canes. Cherry candy canes are bomb. Soupy, chili-ish thing. I like chili. I've only recently started to come around to soup being like an actual meal versus like a side dish or a part of a meal. You know, I just soup for the most part, unless it's really hearty and got like big old potatoes and things in it. Like, I just find myself getting hungry 30 minutes after eating soup. You know, soup and salad, it's good. It's good for you. But I just, like you were saying, your meds, your body just devours your meds. My body devours the soup and the salads. Like, all right, where's the rest of it? You know, and I'm hungry. And Jillian hates that because she'll make, like last night we had grilled cheese and soup. And I was like, man, I better have 2 of them grilled cheese sandwiches. Otherwise, I'm going to be hungry in 30 minutes. And she was like, yeah, no, I got 2 of them out for you. I was like, cool. So, and I ate 2 of them and I was all right. But I try not to double up on sandwiches, burgers, any of that stuff anymore. I used to be a 2 of everything kind of guy, but now I'm fat and don't have a good metabolism and have not been working out very much lately, if at all. So I'm trying to minimize my intake to minimize my need for output, right? Has beans and tomato in it. Ooh. So you're saying it's a rootin' tootin' good time is what you're saying. We make a white bean chicken chili that might be similar to what you're explaining. It's got like shredded crock pot chicken and beans and lentils and all sorts of stuff in it. It's actually pretty good. It goes over cornbread. But that's where it becomes a problem. Like, it's a very healthy dinner, but then you put it over like honey cornbread, and it's not nearly as healthy anymore. That joke stinks. Most of them do, bro. Most of them do. Mostly. It stinks like a fart. Wah! More like the bog of eternal stench. That's more my kind of... That's where my bad jokes land. Or don't land, I should say. We started watching that True Detective show on Max. We're way behind, though. Like, we just started watching it, so we're on episode 1 of... Or no, we're on episode, like, 4 of season 1. And it's interesting. It had a pretty surprising scene in it pretty early. Like, episode 2 or 3 or something. Woody has a little encounter with a certain someone, and I mean, it was kind of wild because that's one of my, like, celebrity crushes. And, like, they were doing some pretty uncelebrity-like things. Brian P, what up? I don't know if there was this game. I'll watch this. Wait a minute, Brian, I don't know if there was for this game, but wasn't there a Halloween level you could power wash? There was a Christmas level. I don't think we've ever seen a spooky one. If we go back to all the specials, these are the main big ones as far as the DLCs that are paid. I don't even think this one was paid, actually, but all the rest of them were. I'm pretty sure. Although Tomb Raider and Midgar, I don't think were actually, now that I think about it, too. But Alice for sure was. Warhammer was. SpongeBob was. Back to the Future was. Shrek for sure was. But then beyond that, like free play, locations, like, I mean, we've had like the shoe. There's the forest cottage. It's kind of creepy, like a witch. There's definitely the temple that's kind of witch-like. But no, like, Halloweenous ones. I don't think we had any Halloweens. But there was the Christmas one for sure. That was a big one. Santa's workshop or something like that. Love to see it. I welcome more content. Like Gray and I were talking about it the other day. Like, there's a couple things that they could do to, like, make this game even better than it is. But, I mean, for the most part, it's a pretty solid build. And as long as they keep bringing content to it, this could be one of those live service games that just goes on forever with just more and more content. Joining up with different types of people and different franchises and different areas. Like, you know, SpongeBob was cool. I wouldn't mind seeing some Star Wars, right? I mean, we haven't seen any Marvel or anything. Like, we haven't got our Marvel fix here, as much as I'm tired of seeing Marvel and whatever. Like, it could certainly be a fun level or levels to do, like Tony Stark's apartment, or you know, the helicarrier would be like a crazy like 17-hour, you know, job. Can't help but feel like it's Easter and I'm like hunting Easter eggs. Let's see here. Rays we make. We don't put beans in ours. Oh. No beans. Beans, the magical fruit. %. Oh yeah, we're good. Let's finish up this side. That's sour cream. See, that's part of our chicken chili is the sour cream. It goes in afterwards. You know, sometimes I add it, sometimes I don't. Just depends on what kind of mood I'm in and how like sort of creamy I want it, right? Because it does change the consistency or texture of it a little bit, which I'm sure is the point, and the flavoring as well. It's good stuff. It's funny that we're even talking anything about any of this because we're supposed to go over to my brother's on Saturday and we're doing dinner, and we were trying to decide, do we want to take something over? If we do, what would we take? Do we want to order something? There's a couple places that we like to go up there, but you know, if we're paying for dinner and we're paying for, you know, 5 adults, that's going to be pretty expensive. Not that we can't make it happen, but you know, like this one place we like to go to is Thirsty Lion. It's like 25-ish bucks a head, you know, depending on what you get. And it's really good. They got like really good macaroni. They got, you know, really good sandwiches. They got this amazing brownie that comes out on a skillet. It's like all hot with ice cream and stuff. Oh, it's so delicious. Probably really bad for you, but nobody asked. So I don't know what we're gonna do, but yeah, we haven't had the white bean chicken chili in a while, but it was just talked about last night. Jillian was like, maybe I should make that because I can put it in the crock pot and we can just take it. And I was like, that's not a bad idea. But also, we have no idea if like Alex and his wife are gonna like that or not. You know? Sometimes ordering out is just easier because like you've got multiple mouths to feed that like different things. And our secret and out of a can of V8. You know, I'm really weird. I am not really a fan of tomatoes. Like, I'll eat them. I know they're good for me, and I eat them. But, like, I know all sorts of people that are like, tomatoes, nom, 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 nom. Ooh, caprese salads and tomato, nom, 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 nom. You know, like, I'm just not, like people go for tomatoes like they go for apples. Which is really ironic because I don't like apples either. I'll eat the crap out of some apple sauce. I will drink some apple juice. I will eat apple pie. But you hand me an apple? In fact, I got a bag full of fresh ones that my mom grew on her trees. I won't eat any of them. I just don't like the texture that apples have, like the waxy outside, not to mention like the almost granularly, grainy. Even though it's sweet, it's a weird mouthfeel for me. And I've always just been weird. Like, I'll eat the crap out of bananas, peaches, pears, you know, anything. Apples are like the one fruit I don't really like. And tomatoes, same way. Like, I've had friends that'll literally pick a tomato right off a vine and take it and eat it like an apple, like a big tomato, not like a little cherry, like a big tomato. Take big bites out of it, multiple, like an apple. And I just don't. but I love tomato soup. You know, I love, but I can't stand Bloody Marys. I can't stand V8s. There's just something about it. Like, it's a weird, like I said, I get weird with that stuff. My wife's always made fun of me. My mom too, actually. Like, I'll eat the crap out of some applesauce or apple pie, but you cannot get me to eat an apple. Like, it's just not gonna happen. And part of it too is like they almost kind of hurt my gums and my teeth sometimes. Like, if you take a bite into the exterior, like even a peeled apple though, I still don't find it as appealing as like appealing as you know, like a pear or a peach, or like peaches are probably one of my favorites. I love strawberries too, as long as they're not our yard berries. You might ask, why don't you like your yard berries, Brian? That's a great question. Because we have a dog that pees on everything, and our berries are low to the ground, and I have seen him pee on our boxes that are for the friggin' strawberries. And everyone's like, oh, no, it's fine, it's fine. I'm like, you go ahead and eat those piss berries. I'm good. That's what I got. I always refer to that line from Clerks 2 when they make the meal for their old high school foe, and they scoop the ice out of the urinal, and they fill it with Coke, and then they take flies from the fly catcher, and they put it in the burger. And then the bully that they try to get with it doesn't eat it. He gives it to Jay and Silent Bob, and Jay and Silent Bob are eating on it. And he's like, this tastes like piss and flies. Like, yeah, it does. That's always what I think about when Jillian's like, oh, I got a bunch of berries from the yard. I'm like, oh, from our yard? Not from somebody else. Like, I'm okay with other yards that don't have, you know, a dog. The ground is just a giant... Well, sure, but that's not where I want my vegetative growth to be. Because my vegetative growth becomes vegetative gross. Oh! No? Man, I am on a roll of failing you guys today. Joshua, you didn't tell me there was a fence with posts here, bro. This things take forever. I'm never gonna get it done. I'm almost funny number. Do not wash your fruit. Yeah, sure, but when there's nitrogen and other things embedded into the DNA of those from being peed on, yeah, it's kind of gross to think about. Like, I understand fertilizer is often poo, and that's all fine and dandy to an extent, but I don't, like, love that concept. Like, I'm also weird, like, I'm really weird about eggs, too, you guys. Like, I eat eggs all the time in cake, donuts, foods, you know, whatever. But, like, you get scrambled eggs going or a sunny side up or something, I'm just not really interested. Like, Reese and Jillian love having breakfast burritos for dinner. Well, I guess just in general. I'm not big on them. I like the potato part. I like, you know, the cheese part. I like the sauce part. I like the sausage part. Giggity. I am just not into eggs, man. And there is kind of a reason for it. Like, it's sort of a weird concept for me, like, what it is, right? When you, like, actually stop and think about what it is, like, that's weird to me. I'm not a carnivorous, crazy, like, I'm not. My mom's very natural, very, you know, save the animals, save, you know, and it's probably where it comes from, ultimately. Even though she eats eggs sometimes. I just don't like the concept of it. It's just weird to me. And then you take that on top of the fact that as a kid, like, I literally had eggs for breakfast almost every single day, and I had fish for dinner, like, almost every single night. We had a friend that had a farm, so we got a lot of eggs from them. Plus we store-bought eggs like crazy too, but, you know, we had both. And you take that and having it every day, and, like, I just don't really like fish anymore either. The fish and chips I'm getting from Burgerville is, like, the only fish I really eat regularly. Like, My wife makes a really good Parmesan encrusted halibut. It's just not really my thing. I like the Parmesan cheese aspect of it, but just not really into that fishy seafood. Just not. Like, I like crab every once in a while and lobster, but with lobster, I found that I really just like butter. I mean, I'm not trying to make a joke. Like, I'm being serious. Okay, I've been listening. Is it true? Chickens pee through their skin? I don't know. I'm not super farm smart. Not spent a lot of time on a farm with livestock. Definitely with vegetables and those kinds of things. But can I get there? Yeah. Ooh, donuts make me go nuts. We actually have these raspberry cinnamon twist roll thingies right now from Costco. They're basically like a flat cinnamon roll. You know, they're like a cinnamon roll, but they're sort of restrained, so almost more of like a donut size. But they have the spirally roll in the middle, and they're sort of dipped in sugar and cinnamon. But the roll, as it goes around, instead of having just like a cinnamon and, you know, whatever inserts, it has raspberry. It's like jelly. You know, my wife keeps complaining that we eat too much junk, but every time she goes to Costco or somewhere, she always comes home with some deliciousness like that. And then, of course, it has a sell-by or eat before date, and that's always a challenge to me, so I'll eat, like, all of them in one sitting. Pretty sure Reese had 3 of them yesterday. He tried to play it off like he only had 2. He actually tried to blame his grandma for stealing one, which she might have had one. That was okay. I would rather it be her than have Reese had eaten 3 of them. But all in all, they're delicious. I don't blame him for eating them. Let's see here. All birds pee and poo and whoa. I'll have to look at that later, John. It's too small for my wee bit eyes. Yeah, I don't know nothing about I'm not a birdologist, or what do they call it? Aviation. There's a name for it. I'm not one of those. I know some birds fly south for the winter. I'm sure some fly north too, depending on how far south they are, right? This is gonna be pretty close, you guys. This is gonna be way closer than I expected it to be. 85%. So it's almost getting to that time of year where it's time to start watching the holiday-themed movies. You know, the Thanksgiving and Christmas type stuffs. I know everybody's got a little different regimen and how they do things. Like, it's an absolute must that Reese and I watch Christmas Vacation every single year. We love it. He doesn't watch much with us anymore. Like, we used to watch like a movie a week or 2 movies a week or a show every night at dinner or whatever. Like, we used to consume a lot of media and stuff together. But, you know, now that he's older and he's got his Discord server with all his friends and everything, we don't get that as much. But, you know, he actually brought it up the other day. He's like, whoa, it's getting close to, you know, almost that time of year. We have to pull out the Christmas movies. And we probably have 30, 35 movies that we really like to watch, you know, from The Grinch, Christmas Vacation, Christmas with the Cranks, Big Christmas Charlie Brown, or whatever it's called. You know, we have a bunch of them. And we sort of cycle through like 5 or 10 every year. But every single year, we for sure watch Christmas Vacation. You serious, Clark? Yeah, there's some really good lines and moments in that movie. It's one of my faves. Especially like themed. You know, Chevy is just... I've heard he's really hard to work with. I've heard he's really inappropriate. His acting, though, like, I've just always loved... Like, Fletch is one of my favorite movies. Like, how he plays the different roles and how he's just so witty and, like, such an arse to so many people. The way he talks. but yet he does it in like a professional, like snarky, witty way. Like he like really makes you think about the things you say and that you're doing. Like, and I've always really loved that. Little different character role playing, you know, Clark Griswold, but all those vacation movies are hilarious. Even the new one with Ed Helms playing Russ. You know, we were just talking about that the other day. How it's got the childproof doors. Here, slam my door. Slam my arm in the door. Slam my arm in the door. Ah! Oh, I didn't have it on. What are you telling me? Do it again. Ah! Like that's so, it's like a very Clark Griswold thing to do. All right. So clearly I got some stuff up top here. Oh, no. Yep. Good, 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 good. Hey. I think I got all the donuts. Let's see here. Die Hard is not a Christmas movie. Yes, it is. I mean, I know Bruce has even come out and tried to debunk it. But it's, I mean, ho, ho, ho. I've got a machine gun now. How is that not a Christmas movie? I will argue with anybody who says it's not. My friend Jay actually has a really cool advent calendar. I've seen it going around now. When he first showed it to me, it was like, I'd never seen it before. And I was like, oh my God, did you make that? That is amazing. But it turns out it's widely available. But it's a calendar of Han, what's his name? Hans? No. Yeah, Hans Gruber. Hans Gruber falling from the Nakatomi Plaza. Like, as it gets closer to Christmas, he falls further towards the ground. It's hilarious. I mean, not really in the Christmas spirit, but it is definitely a hilarious advent calendar. Okay, so let's see here. I'm guessing, yeah, I was going to say, I'm guessing there's some stuff over here yet. Okay, do I have anything? Okay, okay. Let's get an extension. Let's get an extension. Side eaves. Whoa. What? 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 Am I the only one seeing this? That was weird. I mean, I grade the trophy, but not really. Right? I mean, I had like one smidge of a tiny little thing. Little nom-sized pocket. Poquito. What are you doing in my swamp? Nailed it. All right, so let's get this guy off. Stubby returns. And let's go ahead and... Trying to get the proper angle. It's kind of a funny angle right now. If I could maybe get... Couple look at. All right, well. So we got 3 left. We're still not even halfway done according to the thing. So that's a good indication of how much time we have left. But for today, That's all the time we have left for today. Look at that. I got over $20,000. What am I going to do with all this? Nothing. There's like, I mean, yeah, I could buy tons and tons of equipment. I could buy every piece of clothing possible, but a lot of the stuff is $0. I mean, I wonder if you could buy everything, you know. Own it all, right? Yeah, I don't see anything I don't own there. I mean, I'm still not even broke yet. I got all the clothing, got all the equipment, got all the modifications, and I know I have all the power washers. So it's just a matter of out of stock. So I can't buy anything else. But I got it. I missed the black outfit? What? You calling me racist? Oh, look at that. I did. Got it. Still ain't broke. Elvira, you know, my grandma who just passed away, the one that introduced me to like Married with Children and stuff, she was a huge Elvira fan, and I would probably not even know much about Elvira if it wasn't for her. She had like cassette tapes, and she used to watch all the specials, and like she was a big Elvira fan. I'm pretty sure she went as Elvira for Halloween a couple of years too. Just some sort of connection right there, you know. It's weird how some things will just stand out to certain people. Like, not the type of person at all that I would expect to be an Elvira, you know, admirer, but she really was, and crazy stuff. Love that movie, Brian. Peas. My favorite is The Mayor. Let's see here. I know Halloween, Christmas, Nightmare for Christmas. Yeah, that's one that I have not seen that much. I've seen it like once, maybe twice. But just one that I never really got into. I think it's an amazing animated, or however, Tim Burton's whatever I don't know, is it puppet claymation? I don't know what it is, but visually it looks pretty stunning and everything. So yeah. All right. Tomorrow we've got ourselves. Now that I'm not in that game anymore, let's pop open the trophy list here. 20 melee kills, revive 100 fallen troopers, achieve career rank 100, detonate a hive core, kill 2,000 drone bugs, destroy 500 hive eggs, kill 5,000 bugs, revive 25 fallen troopers, destroy 1,000, detonate a total of 10 hive cores, kill 30 grenadier bugs, kill 888 fire. I wonder what that's got to be a reference to something. Complete 20 matches of horde mode, reach mastery level 10 on any weapon. That'll be easy because you know me, I said it and forget it. Kill 2297 in Memoriam Buenos. Oh yeah, Buenos Aires gets blown up, and it actually changes Rico's course. He was actually ready to leave the what do they call it, the not the Federation, yeah, the Federation. He was going to leave the Federation. And he's like on his phone talking to his parents in Buenos Aires, and all of a sudden they go dark. They're like, "Oh, that's weird. What is that?" And then they get the reports that Buenos Aires had been attacked by the bugs. So he like, I'm coming back. I'm not leaving. And that's probably what the re-enlist is. And carry on, private. Because they literally like ask him too right after that moment when they find out. He's like, "Is this your signature on this departure form?" And he's like, "Yes, sir. It is, sir." And he's like, "Are you sure? Because I don't see it." And he rips it off and he goes, "Yes, sir." And he says, "Carry on, private." And then, so that's totally a reference to that. Any grenade type, 200 kills. Reach level 15 on any trooper class. Salute 6 fallen troopers. Kill 100 bombardier bugs. My grandfather was a bombardier in the war. He was never actually had to go fly or do anything, but finished the tutorial. So there is a tutorial. Come on, you apes. Cheap victory on easy victory. So, okay. There may be a multiplayer action, but there may be a storyline that needs to be done too. As you can see, easy, difficult, normal. I'm guessing that is a story-related thing. Do we know, Kirsten? Gerg, are you out there anymore? Gerg, where are you? Where were you? Got that weird beard growing animation. 140 is nothing. No, don't encourage the poor sap. Gerg, okay, so sports games that are not the current year literally sell for like 99 cents, $1, $5. Most people don't want to buy the old stuff because there's a new sports game every year. So a couple of those games are definitely high priced at $20. You know, you look at like Grand Theft Auto, up until a couple months ago, $20 was probably a pretty good deal, but I think you can get it for like $10 right now or $5.99 or something really cheap on PlayStation. Just with a 5 bomber, but no such luck. I mean, it says we've gained. It says we have 121 members now. The other day we only had 100, so maybe it's just not showing. It's not acting like it's given any more here. Yeah, still 121. See here. Lucky, ask at least 300. Yeah, FIFA 19, probably not a high-fetching game. UFC 3, I don't know anything about UFC. I don't know. Red Dead Redemption and Grand Theft Auto, both probably decent, but they're also PS4 versions, not the PS5. I don't know. I'm not hating. I'm just trying to help Buddy sell so he can get his stuff off and get his controllers. Because we all know that controllers are a problem. I just had to get a new one last week. What is this? I don't know what this is. It's lots of Lego stuff, but it's at the bottom. It literally loaded the bottom of the email. It's weird. It is a Lego email. It's about Halloween stuff. All right, guys. Well, I've got nothing else. It's about time to shut her down. Let's see here. Justin, stop breaking it, bro. Then getting refunded. Yeah. Me too. So at least there is that. At least like the money isn't just disappearing and going to nobody, or Google isn't just taking everything, right? Gerg is online. Is he playing? No. Okay. I don't know who these other two dudes are. Hey, Bats. Don't know who you are. Zombie Kill. Not sure who you are either. TTV. Got to be a streamer. But yeah, this game looks really intense and wild. I have a feeling that I'll be like, why are you doing that, game? Why are you not dying? Some of these bugs take a lot. And that's a thing in the movie, too. There's hordes and hordes of bugs. And, like, sometimes these bugs, they don't hit them, like, essentially in the nervous system, which is a small little spot. It takes a lot of bullets to take them down. Like 3, 4, 5 guys will stand around one and shoot like clip after clip into it. And then it finally drops. Usually it gets 1 or 2 of them. It's a pretty intense scenario. And I feel like the game is going to be good too. So, yes, guys, that's going to do it for today's PowerWash Sim. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you all. Justin, thanks for trying to support others and the channel by dropping some donos. Unfortunately, it hates us, bro. It hates us. Fresh tortillas cut into triangles and back into the oven. Oh, okay. So like chips almost, basically. Oh yeah, I'm gonna make my own tortilla. Okay, I missed the first. Yeah, it's kind of like chips. Like exactly like chips. Speaking of chips, that's a great movie with Dak Shepard and Michael Pena. Oh my gosh, that movie makes me laugh so hard. Anyways, time Brian out for mentioning the Dodgers, and everybody else have a great day. No, I'm just kidding. Go Dodge Keys. Go Dodge Keys. Yankers probably isn't a good one. Dodge keys is about the only combined Dodgers and Yankees I could say, right? 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 Like you can't combine Yankees and Dodgers. You can't take the first half, Yank and Ers. That just doesn't work out. But yeah, good luck to your baseballs, and hopefully they fly out the park. I will be back tomorrow. I'm probably in a pretty good mood because I'm playing a new game with some friends that I'm excited about. And it's also the start of the NBA season. So the beginning of the end for mine and my wife's time alone, hanging out. Like, we'll still see each other, but it's perfect timing, though. She's taking a very intensive class at Oregon State University right now to better her school stuff. And I mean, we're talking like she comes home at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and she's doing homework till 9 o'clock. And I mean, half the days I've either been ordering and going and picking up the food, or I've even been making food a couple of those nights, which historically I'm not very well known for making dinner because I've messed up a few and nobody likes eating crappy dinner. So anyways, much love to you guys. I hope you have a wonderful day. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. And if you have not already, you know the drill. Head on over to any of our social medias. If you have not checked out HappyThumbsGaming.com, we'd love to see you over there too. We got a trophy achievement guide for Funko Fusion that's getting pretty close to being done. Check it out. That's going to do it for me though, guys. As always, until next time.